Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the uCryptoMadness show. I'm your host, Pierre Warner, aka Dr. Reefer, and I'm joined by my world fucking famous superstar mega co-host, Bob Walker.
And together we're contributing to the delinquency
of minors.
That's right. So, yeah. So we hit a block last night.
We hit a block.
I'm waiting for the time we can hit a block at like 9, 10 in the morning instead of 12 a.m., 12:30. So with that being said, we had issues.
Before we go and describe those issues, let's share this out, bud.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's see, share to my page. Join us. And where are we checking in today? Let's go Discovery Channel. Discovery Channel.
So I got too many conversations going. So I'm closing down the Pierre Warner one. It's crazy, man.
It is crazy. Okay, there we go. I just shared it. And guys, I've got a superstar guest that's going to come on here in just a sec.
Is he more superstar than last night's guest?
Well, he might be coming on too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I talked to him because I wanted to get his thoughts on the valuation. That's like super important.
Man, I swear the more I delete, the more pop up. Oh man, and James sent me a message right at 2:30 today, and I didn't get back to him. That sucks. I'll get back with you, James. Sorry about that, buddy. I actually slept because I was up with Dr. Reefer till about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning. He's rubbing off on me in that way. So it's man, all this time just to get to where I can share this one time.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's crazy.
That's why it's so important that you guys share out.
Right? All the thing that you have to do just to share.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think you closed down more windows than even me.
Yeah, and I'm getting messages right now, right? So I made a post last night, probably about, I don't know, maybe 1 in the morning, and I pinned it to the top of the page. I don't know, maybe it was a little bit after that. We needed screenshots of everybody's, everybody's stats. And of course, now I'm getting messages from people that waited, 18 hours later to do it. That, hey, I can't get the stats now. Well, I'm going to explain the whole thing. So,
oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Mm-hmm. First, Michael says, did you see the latest news on Michael Stollaire? No, I did not. What's up with that, Michael?
Yeah, he signed on with a yet additional coin, HTML coin. So he's an advisor for them as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, look, I got one guest right now. Let me bring him on. And then this isn't my other superstar guest, but this is a superstar too, I think, if I'm correct.
Dude, that's a good-looking headset. Looks
awesome. Yeah, I noticed that last night.
We're friends for life right now.
How's it going, guys?
Good. So, guys, this is Kyler Anderson.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, bud. Welcome to the uCryptoMadness show. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Glad to be here. Where to start? First of all, I got really interested in you guys after I was listening to the conversation you were having with the CEO. Oh, can you hear me okay, first of all?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So with the CEO of
Titanium.
my brain's gonna fart. Yeah, Titanium last night, specifically because I'm 100% disabled vet involved in the crypto space as well. I heard about Bitcoin in 2009 when a buddy of mine in the school that I was involved in told me, "Hey, you've got a gaming laptop. There's this really cool internet money. You should let me set it up so that you can earn it automatically." And I was like, "Well, what can I buy with it?" And he's like, "I think somebody bought a sword in World of Warcraft." I was like, "Deuces."
Dude,
I know.
World of Warcraft?
I know. I was more of a. I saw you're in the Navy. Good stuff, man.
Yes.
Yeah, Marine Corps myself. Avionic electronic technician, eye level, is what I did initially, and then I ended up doing marksmanship instruction for most of my time in. So, anyhow, let me tell you, I got back involved in Bitcoin in 2012 when I was the lead producer for the first radio show about Bitcoin and the first international radio show about Bitcoin, the Ed and Ethan Show. Ed and Ethan Talk Crypto out of Canada. They also broadcast AM on the Gold Coast, so that was a lot of fun. We got to interview people like Mr. Andrew Antonopoulos in the early days before he really got very famous, or at least for blockchain projects. And then currently, I just got hired as the community manager of the Neureal project.
The what project?
The Neureal project. It's like a combination between neuron and real. Does that make sense?
Okay, no. So you're going to have to explain that one to me.
Absolutely. I'd love to tell you more about the project. So, first of all, I got involved 2013. I met a guy in the Utah Bitcoin community called Will Bowen, and Will Bowen ended up going on, and he's the guy who organized not most of it, I should say. He and a couple of his friends ended up organizing a bunch of meetups. We ended up making Bitcoin pretty big in the community because we'd go and pressure restaurants into accepting it, and then on days when Bitcoin was up, we'd all go do a bit mob. And
Okay.
but we ended up doing talks in the community and all kinds of stuff. And Will was really the big pioneer there. I think he started mining in 2011. Will ended up going on and winning the 2015 Texas blockchain hackathon. He won the $1 million first prize.
You've got access to him?
Oh no, he's one of my friends. He's the
got access to him.
Oh, more than access, he's the chief architect of the project that we're talking about. So
okay.
After that, he was given the opportunity to launch an ICO in 2015, but he wasn't able to do it by himself, and he didn't have a team to be able to put together just then. And so he stepped back and really started focusing on Neureal, which is kind of something he'd been talking to me about for a long time in the past.
Okay.
And then brought on the new CEO, Jen Grayson. And Jen Grayson she just got rated by Chipin as one of the top 8 women in cryptocurrency.
Okay.
She has 10 years of experience running a multi-million-dollar life insurance agency, and then another 10 years of experience in publishing. So she's fantastic at communicating the message. What Neureal actually is a platform which allows anybody to be able to see the future. And specifically, let me talk about predictive algorithms. Do you guys know much about predictive algorithms in the different industries that they're being used in right now?
Like, I've heard of, I think, is it Golan?
Golem is a very interesting kind of example of something that will work with Neureal. This is what I love about Neureal. We're not competing against anybody in the space right now. We will supercharge most of the projects that are in the AI space right now if they become successful, as well as a lot of the data storage places. But I'll talk about that here in a second.
Okay.
AI algorithms are used in more and more industries nowadays, but it's mostly the people who have the big bucks. One of the big examples is airlines this year got in a lot of trouble for their predictive algorithms being really crappy. They have a no-show predictive algorithm, which predicts how many people are going to buy a ticket and then not show up for their flight. And so they oversell the flight to try and not lose money, but way more often than not, they way oversell. And so that's why you get people like poor Dr. Dow being dragged out of the plane with blood streaming down his face and stuff. That was a good outcome of bad predictive algorithm, man.
Okay.
And so let me explain how you get to...
And you know what? Because we've had discussions on AI, and the example that you just mentioned, that's a stupid AI.
Kind of. Well, let me explain how it gets to be that dumb, or kind of dumb. It's really good when you look at it this way, like, right? It is more than 99% accurate. But it's
Okay.
not 99% that we're worried about when you talk about economies of scale, when you have millions of people flying every day.
True.
99% is not effective. It's like the 99% on a condom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Oh yeah, more than a chance. So really what it is correcting and getting more and more accurate. And the reason why that doesn't happen right now is that just by having a predictive algorithm, you're the big guy in the show. You know what I mean? So how does JetBlue design a new predictive algorithm when they want to do something like this? Well, currently they have to go into a school and then hire a promising expert that's coming out of the school. And that promising expert, this is a brand new, not brand new, but it's a fairly new field, right? Not a lot of people are very technically knowledgeable about it just yet. And there's a lot of new ideas in a lot of different areas, like neural networks as opposed to traditional algorithms. But anyways, when a company like this approaches somebody, they get one team or a small group of people, and they have specific ideas about how it should work, but they run their algorithm in the blind against itself, right? Like if I want to learn to be an endurance or a long distance or a speed runner, do I do that by running in the dark only against myself and not ever looking at other people running or what kind of shoes they're wearing or all the different techniques that they use to train, right? Like that just wouldn't make sense. And it does right now because there's no real kind of platform that anybody can go to. But here's what we're proposing, right? Let me give you a different real world example that I think you're going to love.
Okay, hold on. So when you're saying the AIs are basically solo guys competing in the dark, right?
Not entirely.
Yeah, because we had I read an article where Facebook unleashed 2 AIs and then they started communicating in some secret language.
Kind of. It's not a secret language. It's just a more efficient version. Basically, true artificial intelligence is AI is a code that is able to write code that is applicable for what it is doing by itself. Does that make sense? And so when you look at it that way, those two were told to communicate. And remember that I'm not a technical expert in this. You heard my background. I am really good. The Marine Corps taught me to be really good at taking really complex technical subjects, learning about them very quickly, straining out extraneous information, and then distilling it down and using analogies that normal people can understand. Make sense?
Great. You can break it down to me because
yeah. Well, so let me put
I don't know.
it
We
this way.
always used to say dazzle them with brilliance and baffle them with bullshit in the Navy. So,
well, see, in the Marine Corps, we used to say break it down Barney style, and that is my goal because grunts are varying levels of intelligence and understanding, right?
Right.
So here's another way to break this down that's even easier. Let's talk about Netflix. In 2009, Netflix launched a competition. Okay, and it was $1 million competition, and they said we want the best algorithm that's currently available for predicting what the user star rating of a given film that we are considering financing is going to be based on these specific limited data points that we have. Okay, and so they went out and they promoted that competition, and they spent a whole lot of extra money promoting that competition, and then they spent a whole lot of extra money actually running the competition and getting into the schools and the marketing and all the other things that they did. So, but at the end of it, what they had is the best algorithm available at the time for the resources they were able to put into it for predicting user star rating. And what they used that to do, we can clearly see from their slate of releases since 2009, is to kind of be a cut above their competition, or at least in general, their films are much better received. Their projects are a lot better received recently for using this type of algorithm. But most places don't have the money to do that, right? Like a YouTuber wouldn't have the money to do something like that. Mm-hmm. Here's what we want to do instead. We are making a platform using blockchain where any individual or company in the world can come forward, present a question about a prediction they want made, a set of data that they believe is going to be useful, and a reward in neurons, which are our tokens, our currency. What then happens is that reward and all that data is put on the network, and just like miners compete for Bitcoin, all that wasted electricity that they're currently using to mine hashes that don't make any sense and don't do any good to anybody, instead, we use that in order to power these algorithms, and then they compete to give the most accurate answer to the question that we want predicted. Here's a really good example that I like, right? If you're worried about you're going to have a heart attack, you could present to the network your encrypted medical history, as well as access to live streaming data like a Fitbit, okay? And from there, you give a reward, and then you set a couple of designations, which I'll explain how we can help the layman be able to do that really simply later. We're starting a company that's actually going to just help people onboard this process. But essentially, then it would be able to broadcast or forecast when you're going to have the heart attack, or if you're going to be able to have the heart attack, or going to have the heart attack, with enough accuracy to send you a text message that tells you to head to the hospital with enough time for you to be there before it happens. That is something that those algorithms are currently capable of doing, okay? But when you talk about doing them on a single computer, they're really limited because of various different things. I mean, it's the same reason that it's hard to run a mining company, right? Like, power is expensive, computing power is expensive, rack space is expensive, cooling is expensive. When you're talking about some of the really good applications that really help humanity, that's hard to do.
What's the best one that's helped humanity?
You want to know what we really want to do? These are our two MVPs that we're launching on our network that we're going to, these are going to work publicly before we allow our token to be traded, okay? The first is a cryptocurrency pairing trading bot that is going to predict the live price of cryptocurrency second to second.
Good, because that was the first one that was on my mind, man. You gave
I knew it would be, and to be honest, that is a great one because it's a lot more simple than you might suspect. The data is really publicly available, and we can gather it from a lot of different places.
Right.
There's a lot of algorithms that are currently available in the current stock market to do this and compete against each other.
Before I buy into a coin, I can do an analysis of, is this coin going to give me 10x or 100x or 1,000x?
Here's the thing, like, you can do that, yes, but here's the real important thing, right? When you're doing trading, if you just know the price tomorrow, there's actually not a whole lot of profit you can make on that, right? The real price, the real profit comes in knowing whether the price is about to go up or down second to second and having live access to that streaming data in a forecast.
Okay, I'm not a trader. I'm looking more like
I completely agree with you, but what I'm saying is that as an example of what a network can do to really power something, that's an example of how powerful our network is planning on being. Not just the price tomorrow, 10 years, but 5, 10, 3, 2 seconds from now.
Ooh. So really, the people you want to go after are more the stock people.
No, actually, let me explain Project 2, which is our bigger project, the one that we're actually a lot more looking forward to.
Okay.
We are going to, through our platform, create the world's most accurate hurricane prediction model for the Caribbean. And to put our money where our mouth is, our foundation is going through the process right now of trying to be based on the island of Barbuda and to set up our corporate headquarters there. Barbuda is an island that just got entirely leveled and rendered uninhabitable to humans by the most recent 2 hurricanes.
Yeah, so where the fuck would you want to go there?
Specifically because we are using the money from our headquarters that a lot of other companies would use to just kind of get nice sofas in order to drive a humanitarian effort there on that island. And
well, that's all fine and dandy.
There's no better way to put your money where your mouth is when you're predicting hurricanes than to put yourself in a place that was just leveled by one.
Yeah, but see, you got to have people that, you know,
we're already working with the governments there. In fact, our CEO
like, I wouldn't want to go there. Like, if the whole place
once again, that's a long-term thing, and that's we're already working globally.
You see what I'm getting with that, though?
I do. We're already working globally. If it's been
all demolished and stuff, like to get me to move to a country and work there, and then also put myself in harm's way, like that doesn't make sense to me.
You wouldn't need to. There are a lot of cryptocurrency projects that are currently trying to base themselves in the Caribbean for a number of advantageous reasons that I won't go into right now. I can definitely invite my CEO
on to talk to you.
Talk about that strategy.
Okay, great.
Because that's a lot more her side of things.
Okay.
specifically, I know that our lawyer is doing some really interesting things that I can't speak on, but I am told that a lot of other projects might want to look into after we're done.
That's awesome because
I'm trying to launch an ICO.
With my degree field, I'm actually just shy of my master's degree in health science, and
Oh, wow.
it's a focus in epidemiology, so statistics, rate of occurrence, and stuff like that. So I kind of get it when you're talking about. I mean, but can't you predict the future in a lot of cases based on the historical analysis of data and projected growth?
You're totally right. And that's one of the really beautiful things about our network is it's agnostic to where the data is coming from. It can be live streaming or it can be historic. It doesn't care.
Okay.
It could be live streaming or historic. It can analyze it that quickly.
That's going to depend on a lot of different factors. And Will can go into that more deeply. I understand it, but I have a harder time communicating this part of it in a way that makes sense to other people. But essentially, this is a lot more data science stuff about how predictors are designed. And this is why we're launching a company that's going to help laymen be able to put their questions on the network in a way that is going to get them useful answers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it has to do with like how far apart the data you do is. Here's the thing. We're not just going to be able to interface with pure AI systems. There are several like Augur that are human-powered decision place markets that as long as the question you're asking has data points that are dispersed far enough apart that humans will be able to input their answers, the humans can compete against the AI systems too. And the human consensus networks as well. And there are so many different variables to the way that you can ask the question and how often the data is refreshed that it completely changes all the different variables about what type of systems can compete inside there, whether you can have neural networks or regular, how large
I think I'd be more interested in having like a subscription to the customers that have asked the questions and have already done all the bullshit, and I just get to read it.
That's actually one of the really cool things. Will can go more into this, but a lot of it, there's a way for it to be encrypted and for data to be inaccessible, but the majority of it, there is incentive within the network to share the answers that you're giving. Because you're going to be paid within the network by other predictors that want to use that data that you just did in order for future predictions. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
So that is entirely incentivized within the network, yes.
I've thought about AIs a lot, man, and I want to present.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a passion.
Hold on, before we move past this. Okay, now I understand with the hurricane, we have statistical tracking. We know about what time of year and what conditions create a hurricane, right? We understand that, right? Obviously we want to predict it better.
Models. You have like 5 or 6 models that all kind of say various different things, and right now they run the models as they are, and then they do hedges, right?
Right.
So what
and then
we're
they take like the statistical mean of all of them to kind of get the baseline tracking and the wide cone. Yeah, okay, we get all that.
So what I'm saying is, but there's only like 5 or 6 of those running right now. Right. And they're only very large institutions. And those are the only people who are incentivized to do it because nobody's out there paying random guy X who happens to know quite a bit about meteorology and quite a bit about programming in order to come up with a new design that he thinks or tweak their design in ways that he thinks is going to be profitable to him because he can guess the answer better than somebody else and win the reward on our network.
Absolutely. But when we apply that to crypto, right, and we're looking at a trading bot that can predict the market lifetime and all of that, that's great. But then you got somebody like John McAfee that can send a tweet out and send the whole friggin' cryptocurrency world into a frenzy.
Which is why it's live streaming. It's live streaming.
Deviation of mu.
As soon as it sees anything happening, it starts to find correlations in the data. And that's really going to depend on the predictors themselves because various predictors are going to approach that problem in different ways. Some of them are actually going to have bots that are out there harvesting different news things and are able to actually run that down into bits that make sense to the system to add into its forecast. Does that make sense?
You guys understand this is my nerd shit right here, right? This is my friggin' zone.
So,
good deal. I'm glad you like it, man.
Then you're going to have to chime in a lot more. So the scenario that I want to port to you, though, is an AI being unleashed on social media, okay? And if this AI's purpose is only to better you, Okay. So it would examine all of your information data
Oh, you
points.
know what? Is this what you guys were talking about last night? Because this
Yeah.
ties so closely. I think I put this in the comments and you guys missed it. This is exactly like the theme of it. Did you guys ever see the radio program X minus one? You ever listen to that?
Uh-uh.
Okay,
I haven't.
X minus one is my jam. X minus one is what a lot of the sci-fi authors that I'm really into,
Okay.
like Heinlein used to write for before they were novelists. Um, and X minus one had a program where there was a dating service exactly like what you're talking about, where it was led by an AI that was overseen by a research team that knew all the different qualifications that make people meet up with or that make people
Mm-hmm.
match for each other. And then rather than like going through the superficial system of you inputting your thing, it just learned about you automatically, and then it steered your day in such a way that you would meet them. And they actually had a little earpiece in. Theirs had even an earpiece in where a human coach would help you if you were running short on like things to say and that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so that when you were saying that, that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
look, here's
not
the other
even
thing.
just that, but like
Here-
say,
I see what you're saying. Let me offer you something. Any of those projects, Neureal can help. If there's a way that seeing the
okay.
future can help that project, projects like Synapse right now are already making it so that AI agents can interact with blockchains like this automatically. So they can ask for those predictions and set them up instantly, and then the blockchain would just, or the predictors within our network would then become a seamless part of that other AI. Does that make
Wait,
sense?
well, hold on. So let's say I did this and I asked the question, when will Britney Spears marry me? And then it comes back, the probability of that is,
Well, here's the first thing.
hold on.
Okay.
0.000.
Yours would say kick rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right. But so then there's another company that's built on top of your company that I can go and say, hey, let's change these data points and give me a better shot.
Now, here's why that wouldn't work out.
Okay.
Because before the payout happens, the system has to check in and verify with reality. Does that make sense? That's how the payout happens. And so you'd say, you couldn't just say, is Britney Spears ever going to marry me? What you'd do is you'd come to Neureal and you do several of these, right? We call them oracles within our internal terminology. A person who approaches the network with a question and the question itself and the way that it's set up, we call that an oracle. And so you'd set up probably honestly a couple hundred of these in order to get a really serious, honest forecast. And they'd be like in the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, various different data points from them, and you'd ask them with various different intervals of the answer lengths and various different tolerances for fault and that kind of stuff. And then there'd be another thing on top of that. Well, here's the thing: you don't have to worry about that. We in 2 years, we estimate that doing the CryptoBot and the hurricane forecast is going to take roughly 2 years. That's a conservative estimate. Will keeps telling me time and time again that he's pretty sure it'll be less than that, but it's way better to to under promise and over deliver, right? So 2 years is what we suspect, and that's in line with like what Ethereum took. So I don't feel too bad about that. I lost myself. Where was I? What was your question, real quick?
I think we were more going towards these AIs still that. So if we do the contract and then there's another guy that's built.
Oh, right. How would you? Britney Spears. That's all you had to say.
Yeah.
Was Britney Spears. Gotcha. So essentially, you would approach when the network is ready in 2 years. Okay. And specifically, I want to be very clear about this. Okay. The network will be ready when it is fully secure. It has passed our internal testing and auditing. Yep. And then proven that it has the ability to scale, and more specifically, has proven very publicly through the cryptocurrency prediction app, which the results of that are going to be available, and the hurricane prediction model, which is going to be live and fully available in a really public way that even laymen can understand. Only then and after the board is voted that it is ready will it go live. But at that point, Neureal separates into two entities. There's going to be the nonprofit organization, which manages the coin itself, and there's going to be a B2B organization, which is called Powered by Neureal. And essentially, that's what I'm talking about to help any company or layman that doesn't have data science experience. We plug those into
why
the network.
nonprofit, dude? I do not get it. I do not like getting into anything that is nonprofit. I really
You're
don't.
gonna have to talk. You're gonna have to talk to the CEO about that. That is a decision that her and Will have made.
Okay.
I agree with it personally. With the way that cryptocurrencies are structured, I think that being a nonprofit makes a whole lot of sense.
Why? Why? 'Cause I don't.
You want my personal opinion on it?
Yeah, man. Fuck it. Why not?
I got into Bitcoin 2011 when I was going through some really big shifts in the way that I view the world. And
Okay.
one of the big shifts in the way that I view the world is mistrust in the way that we currently distribute power. And I absolutely love the way that Bitcoin allows trust or allows consensus without trust. Does that make sense? Like a bank, he was saying last night, right? Like you trust a bank, you know the network is correct because it's mathematically proven.
Mm-hmm.
The exact same thing that Bitcoin does, or not Bitcoin, but the exact same thing that blockchain technologies and similar thinking that a lot of those organizations have. I really believe that if we apply that type of thinking to the way that we have our organizations in the future, it really leads to better gains for the entirety of humanity, like making everything open source.
Great, man. I'm not opposed to that, not one bit. But like, why be nonprofit? Like, everybody's got to make money.
This is a great question for Jen or Will, both of whom are willing to come on the show, or together if you want. Yeah, they just weren't.
I'd love that.
Yeah, let's set that up.
Yeah, we'll go through the white paper. When are you guys looking to get funding?
Okay, so disclaimer: this is all up for change right now. If you want to get like the absolute most active what is happening right now, go to our Telegram group, which you can find through our website, Neureal.net. I'm the manager there, and we've got a specific channel that is only our announcements and not other people's chats. I'm the only person who can enter stuff in there. So if you want to just go to that channel, then you just get our announcements. Yeah, I know some people don't like all the chitter chatter back and forth, and that's fine. I completely get that.
And it's just a different app altogether, man. I mean,
well, and I'm
used to Facebook
an email list right now, so that you can just put in your email, and I'll send you a twice a month email. That's me as well.
I'm just gonna have you guys join our group, man.
I am in your group, so I'll keep you informed.
Great.
I personally am in your group. Last night I joined. By the way, I have to be honest about something because, hey, hold on, my dog's trying to speak up. Got to be honest about something. I kind of lied a little bit because you told me to get into the group to see when the broadcast was coming on in the future. I don't hold any of that currency right now, but it's because of my personal financial situation.
It's all right. Like,
yeah,
that's not a disqualifying question, man. We just want you to answer it so we know where your position is.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, my whole position was I told you I'm 100% disabled vet. I got out in 2011 and I got medically discharged, but I didn't get disability right when I got out. And so I tried to work and tried to just make do for a long time. I worked for a company called Traeger Grills. I made $150,000 a year working for them, but that's
nice.
10 days on, 10 days off, flying around the country every day, running your own event. Man, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I had something similar to the trauma that happened to me when I was in happen, and I completely fell apart. And so I was invested in crypto, but all of a sudden I didn't have an income, and we had just done some stupid things with our money because we expected a lot more to be coming in. And so over the next little while, I traded and kept trying to grow my wealth, but I kept having to pull out in order to pay rent and bills and stay off the street. And so eventually we ended up getting out of our apartment 2 years ago and putting it into a storage unit because I couldn't get treatment through the VA. Even after I got approved for my disability, I couldn't get treatment at the VA.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man, they could give me all the pills I wanted, and they put me on 2 separate courses of pills that almost killed me. I have chronic low blood pressure, and they put me on an off-label medication to manage anxiety that is a blood pressure lowering medication. If my mom wasn't an RN, I'd be dead. So anyhow, so we needed to get out of Utah too because that's where we were at, and the medicine I was using could have gotten my daughter taken away from me. So we bought an RV and we headed out, man. Found a place where the VA could actually get me seen. That ended up being Oregon until 3 days from now, and my treatment runs up then. But we're gonna get back on the road again and see where the VA can actually get me seen. So.
Wow. Well, you know what, man? We'd like to follow your little adventure because you are a veteran, and you know, yeah, I can see your camera went a little
yeah, I don't know what it did.
Blurry.
Piece of crap.
There we go. So, like, we'd like to, follow you and your little adventures, dude, and who gives you a hard time, and kind of announce it on the show and see if we can't take care of anything like that.
Good deal, man. Hey, and if you guys like, obviously, I always tell people do your own research. I'll just tell you this. Will approached me about this project like 3 years ago, and I was so inspired by the idea that I started writing about it, writing a sci-fi novel about something very similar with an AI project that was very similar to his and its effect on humanity.
Mm-hmm.
He approached me 3 weeks ago and was telling me that, hey, would you like to put in like a donation into the project? And I donated almost all the savings that I had to the project because that's how much I understand and believe in the project entirely.
Okay.
And then after getting involved more, I offered to become their community manager because turns out I actually have a really good skill set that aligns well. But yeah, I fully wholeheartedly believe that this is a project that'll actually look. Right now, all of these predictive algorithms are available. People already have them, but the only people who can run them are these giant corporations. And the things that they use them for in general are not things which are good for humanity at all. They are in fact.
I think that overall that they want to make the world a better place and make money at the same time.
True, but let me put it this way: if only one group of people who have a whole lot of money are able to access those algorithms, which can tell them the world, don't you think that has a really good chance of increasing some of those financial disparity problems, even if we have things like Bitcoin?
No, because you have to get informed and you have to join the organization and be down with them. There's all sorts of people, dude, that will not like Bitcoin. Dude, you try to get people into Bitcoin, some people, and they just want to watch the fucking cat videos or porn or whatever.
But at the same time,
there's no way.
They're totally willing to sign up for Facebook and sell all their data for free to all these organizations that do nothing with it.
Some people you just can't fucking help,
But what if?
Here's
my point. Well, no, here is the point of what I'm saying is there are multiple projects who are making it possible for people to take their data and monetize it, okay? But right now it's going to be very hard because there's not a whole lot of avenues. There are some avenues, but mostly the avenues are the very same people who are already collecting that data. And why would they buy it from an outside source? With Neureal, we incentivize an entire group of people to buy that new data, which is now going to be publicly monetizable. And specifically, we begin to give it a value for these future predictions.
I don't disagree with that. I was just disagreeing with the one company that you think is going to be all evil.
Oh, not one. It's not just one company. And look, and it's not that I think they're going to be evil. I believe that they are incentivized to do the most good for themselves rather than for humanity. And that's not a bad thing. It's not part of that's just a part of us. And look, I'm not an anti-capitalist by any stretch of the imagination.
Hold on. Even like if this one company was more incentivized to help themselves than humanity, it's not like, okay, so you're going to make a few $1 billion more. Yeah, but it's not like whatever you're going to do is going to kill off everybody else.
You're right, and you're missing what I'm saying. I am not an anti-capitalist. I consider myself an anarcho-capitalist. I just believe this particular thing.
Anarcho-capitalist?
Yes, anarcho-capitalist, meaning that I believe that voluntary interaction is the only real moral form of human interaction.
Whoa.
That's me. That's not my organization.
Explain that.
Well, we could go a lot into that.
Well, what's that mean? What does that mean that you just said?
What do you mean, voluntary interaction? Well, essentially, look, I believe in what's called the non-aggression principle, and it essentially says that the only justifiable use of violence is in defense of myself.
Right? Yeah, I believe in that.
Okay, so if you apply that to a lot of other areas, that is not how society functions at all. For
But it
instance,
will.
taxation.
What, for instance, taxation?
Yes, if I decide not to pay my taxes, what happens?
Well, you fucking go to jail, bud.
A man comes and knocks on my door and tells me I'm going to jail. What happens if I say, hey, I don't believe I should go to jail? I believe that I have contributed to society more than what my tax income would be to all these other sources, and I don't like what you're going to do with the money, therefore, I'm just not going to do it. Then he's going to violently rip me out of my home, possibly kill me for doing so, stick me in a cage for as long as they deem necessary or until I decide to pay their ransom.
I mean, it's not a ransom, man. It's a part of your earnings. Okay.
Unless, well, again, where does that go, though? Does it go towards bettering society? For the most part,
yeah,
I don't believe so.
Oh, come on, man. You can't tell me that most people.
No, look, here's
hold
how
on,
we
hold on,
break this
hold on,
down.
hold on. Because you're a veteran.
No, I believe that they want to help, but look, here's what I'm trying to say, right?
There you
Here's
go.
what I'm trying to say
Most
is basic
people,
economics.
Like, hold on. But let me, you know.
I got you. This is my game.
Most people that want to get into government, I believe for the most part, have a good heart and mean well.
I 140% agree with you. I was there. I was in that position, and I literally turned down a full-ride scholarship in order to do it. But here's what I'm going to tell you, man. There are 4 basic ways that people make economic decisions, okay? You kind of quadrant it out, okay? There's making a decision for yourself with your own money, buying something for yourself with your own money, okay? Mm-hmm. There's buying something for somebody else with your own money. There's buying something for yourself with someone else's money. And there's buying something for someone else with someone else's money, okay?
Okay.
In area 1, you're most concerned with both price and quality. You're going to go out and try and find the absolute best deal you can. You're going to do the most amount of research because you are personally incentivized to do the best you can in that scenario, right? Mm-hmm. When you're buying something for somebody else with your money, you're less worried about the quality and more worried about price. It's not always, but for the most part, and there are cultures that are different because there are different incentivizations for giving gifts there, right?
Next one.
Next is buying something for yourself with someone else's money. For the most part, you're going to worry way more about quality than you are about price.
Okay. Next one.
In zone 4, you have no care about quality or price.
And that was the one where I'm using other people's money to what?
To spend money for other people, which is literally how we ask every single person in a position in government to make every decision they ever make every day of the week.
True, but even then, man, like, for the most part, yes, there's corruption, and that's what blockchain is supposed to take out of that.
Not even corruption.
But for the most part, man, I believe that even the government tries to spend it like Social Security, the schools, you know.
Do you know what portion of our income that is?
Well, I could fucking Google it if I wanted to. I know most of it goes to defense and Social Security.
Yeah, but there, on the flip side of that, Pierre, you've also got the things where, if we don't blow the rest of our budget because we haven't used it this year, we won't get that amount of funding next year.
That is literally the story in the military.
I didn't say that there wasn't corruption.
But no, that's not even corruption. That's just a systematic way that the government's organized. Every single department gets a budget for the year. And if they don't blow higher budget, every penny of it, they get a reduced budget next year. They get put on a list of departments that get to be reviewed.
Correct. I mean, that's
every year you have an extending budget, regardless of if they need it or not. Yeah, imagine if your business did that.
Well, hopefully it's printing enough money, making enough money that it can do that, right?
Right, but it's
way be able to do that.
But if you use simple like Reaganomics, where you're trying to reduce the size of the government and put more money back into your hand and my hand, to where we can then go and spend that at grocery stores and at Walmart and McDonald's, that then gives them the opportunity.
All I'm saying, dude, is the people that are in the government, for the most part, mean well. Now,
I completely agree with you.
Okay, well, then instead of saying, it's all evil and this and that, come up with a better system.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. And we are coming up with a better system. That's literally what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that. I don't really, because companies, they use other people's money to manufacture their
No,
stuff.
for the most part, the
you know.
CEO of the company is making the decision when the money is his money to make, and there are various things with that. And the reason that I love it is that no matter what approach the company takes, they have to compete in the market, right? Because it's an open market. And so if it's a good idea, it succeeds, and if it's a bad idea, it fails.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what a government does, though. The government literally separates that entire process of succeeding and failing based on merit out of it.
Trump is doing a lot of the different stuff, and he's putting more merit into things.
For now.
I kind of like that. I like that one
For
rule.
now, but
I know.
150 years.
What do you think about that one rule that he implemented, where every government agency?
I've been out of politics for a long time.
Oh yeah, well,
I actually really have not even been watching it. Like, I've been so nose down in the technicals of this project. I actually just got told the other day, like I think this morning, about that thing that happened in Hawaii the other day.
Oh yeah, the false missile warning. You're gonna get nuked. You got 30 minutes.
I should also clarify. I just got brought on the project 10 days ago.
Okay. Well, cool. You've done really good for the project, man. You got them on the crypto show, and we'll be happy to have them on.
None of them before, yeah. We're happy to talk to you guys today. Specifically, though, I'd love to bump whatever message you guys like. You guys said that you guys have a disabled vets message that you guys do, and so did the titanium blockchain guy. Any of that, I would love to broadcast that as far and wide as it goes. So
okay, like what's it called?
Also, do you own a dispensary?
I used to, till the feds took it from me.
No, you know what's funny? I'm part of an organization called 22 Too Many. It refers to the 22 veterans that commit suicide every day, and trying to reduce that number. They also used to fund themselves based off of a dispensary up in Washington, and the state ended up shutting them down when they reduced the number of licenses. They made it down to 400, and they were supposed to be nonprofits that got the first bite at the apple, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. There's another reason why not to be a nonprofit. No, I used to have 5 dispensaries altogether, man. And
that's very cool.
Yeah, California, Colorado, Vegas. I've done.
I've probably been your customer before.
I'm a drug lord, actually.
No, when I was doing sales, man, when I was doing sales and flying around the country, it's likely I've been your customer before.
Yeah, pretty much. But okay, so we're gonna get your buddies on. I'm trying to get one of my buddies on too, man. The guy that was supposed to come on. Here he is. He's trying to message me. Let me grab a beer real quick. Hold on a second.
All right. Take your time.
So, man.
Am I cool to vape?
Yeah, man. I've been vaping and everything else right here. So I got the smoke alien.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
man. I've been vaping for 9 years now. This is the Stollaire V2. It was one of the first really good drip mods that came out, and then it's on just this generic Vapresso box mod that I just got.
Nice. So so Pierre's getting us lined up with another visitor on the show, and
I don't know. I don't know. He just said that he had a guest coming over and might have to reschedule or whatever. But so I got another buddy though. Where's he?
Well, we've also got some stuff to do with the pool and talk about that and what's going on and
we're having a good conversation here too. I like this AI type of discussion. But if you want to,
Pierre's all about the AI.
Yeah, man. No, it blows my mind, some of the stuff that we're talking about doing with this.
So you could technically have a Tinder where you swipe girls left and right, and based on your left and right decisions and what makes sense to you as far as your ideal match, then use an algorithm to decide, hey, this is a girl that you're interested in.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what? I absolutely love that. That's not one I've thought of before. Real quick, I just want to mention that one of the things that I've instituted since we got on is that we're going to do a video contest where we ask people to specifically dream about what they would do with the power of Neureal and how that would help change society. And
I'm blowing your minds
I don't know
away,
what the
right?
pool is yet. Yeah, I don't know what the pool is yet, but it is going to be a pool of tokens. So, yeah.
So see there, yesterday
Well,
I
but
came up with
specifically,
titanium for titanium limbs for veterans. Today
Yeah.
it's the Tinder app for Neureal.
yeah,
I'm a friggin'
actually,
genius. I've been telling
one
you
of
all
the
this.
one of the
Nobody
really
listens.
cool applications that they've been talking about doing is that our CEO is actually pursuing. I need to make sure I word this correctly. We're pursuing partnerships with Lyft. We've talked to them and they've talked to us. And one of the cool things that we've talked about them being able to do in the future, if Neureal works and if they do partner with us, would be something like when they switch over to the driverless cars, the driverless car could specifically send data about where it's at and where all the other cars in the network are at, and then they could partner with their people over at Google who are giving them location ping data from all of our cell phones in the different areas that we're checking into, so that the driverless cars could position themselves in the very most profitable spot so that they're actually there before a customer knows they want them.
Yeah. Makes perfect fucking sense.
And
But so let me ask you this though,
do
man.
that autonomously without any input from a human.
Hold on though. Let me ask you this though. So this weather hurricane predicting model here that really doesn't, it's not going to pay you guys anything, right? This is more for charity, right?
Correct.
And you guys are talking to Lyft. Like, why aren't you just, scratch that? We'll get to that, the hurricane thing. Let's make money and guarantee our success first.
Let me put it this way. When Ethereum decided that it was going to hold on to its coins and lock them in their wallets for 2 years so that people couldn't trade them until it was ready to go, and then they verified that everything was absolutely locked down and pat, when they were done, how much demand was there for Ethereum? How much did the general public actually understand what Ethereum did and how it could actually impact their lives that generated
Probably
want for
not.
Ethereum?
We just took a fucking chance. Most people just took a chance.
That's right. What would it be like if you could actively verify the accuracy of our network predicting hurricanes?
I don't care about that. I want to know how to make money.
Well, that's fine. You can do that as soon as it's up. But you understand that like hurricane prediction is an incredibly complex thing.
It is, but in general, it's pretty fucking accurate. But we got a general idea within a few hundred miles.
That's not good enough.
Yeah, it is, because you can get on an airplane, get the fuck out of Dodge.
If you got an airplane to get on.
Yeah, hey,
most people don't.
Fucking run, swim, whatever the fuck you have to do, but get out of the fucking way.
How about if we could just use AI that we already have and position it in such a way that it's serving those people in that way? We're also. I should also.
If you can't,
if they have multiple days to get on that island.
Hold on, man. I'm the fucking. This is my courtroom. Okay, so goddamn, how was I going to state this? You just threw me off topic there. So serving the people at the island, they can't get off the fucking island anyway, is what you just came back to me, if they don't have an airplane. Okay, great.
Not instantly.
Not instantly. Maybe, maybe they're handicapped or whatever. They can't go anywhere. Okay, so let's just take that, the other extreme scenario. Okay, so right now we have the weather forecasting bullshit that, that they can predict the hurricanes within a few hundred miles and different computer models, whatever. And say you can do, within 1 mile, but that guy who's disabled and whatnot, it doesn't even fucking matter to him if it's 1 mile, 100 miles. He ain't going to be able to do anything anyway.
See, but it's not just going to be 1 mile. You're missing it. It's not just going to be how accurately it predicts it. It's also how far into the future we're able to see how far they're coming. And it's more than that too, because right now, the current models all draw on individual data and a couple of publicly available sources. Okay. Neureal publicly incentivizes more sources to begin gathering and to stream that data all over, because the predictors on our network will pay them for that data.
Okay, granted. However, it's still like you guys have the ability to work with Lyft and use those resources and take care of Lyft.
We have the ability to do all of the above, because remember, none of this is limiting our ability to do anything.
Okay, well, you know, if resources aren't scarce, then
That's not what we're scared. That's not what we're concerned about. Aside from that, the predictors on the network can decide what. No.
Like,
and here's the other thing: is that the predictors on the network can decide what predictions they want to do based on how big the rewards are.
okay, but you still have to have the programmers to build this thing up. The
That's
only
one of the
only thing I'm saying, like, is this company using some of this money that could be used to go to Lyft, but there's jerking it off over here with this hurricane thing.
Why does it need to go to Lyft? There's like, I think you're misunderstanding exactly what we're doing. We're not the ones creating the models that are doing the predicting at all.
Okay.
We're approaching places, and this is
The
something
whole
that is
network.
in the works. Yeah, that is correct. But we're approaching places like the University of Utah, and we are currently in talks with them. This is not something that is set up yet. This is something we are talking to them about, and they're open to having their students be able to submit predictors to the network for full credit for a lot of courses that it's already applicable to.
Whoa, what do you mean? Like,
the predictors on the network are imagine them like miners everywhere else, right? Like, and imagine a more efficient predictor, like if somebody came up with a miner that does more with the more resource intensive stuff with the mining hardware you already have. It allows you to generate more coins.
And so that would be equal to let's say an A+ or something in that class or something.
We don't know. We have no idea how those professors are going to do it. But the point is that we're automatically going to have a pool of this is just one example of the places that we're reaching out to. Yeah, more than smart people, but smart people that have brand new ideas in the space and are able to look at what's already been done and then apply new tweaks to them in ways that they think are going to do it, and then be incentivized to do that and work on it because they're earning money doing it.
Okay, but
they've got good ideas. That's a good idea, but you know, the college kids and the professors, there's, you know, a lot of them are off in La La Land too.
Tiny example.
Yeah,
and
but
again,
that's a good way. That's a good way. That's a good way.
All right, so what do you call a doctor that graduated at the top of his class? Doctor, right? And what do you call a doctor that graduated with a C average?
Doctor.
Yeah, there's no difference. So how do you disseminate what is good information and what is bad information on the network?
We don't need to, because remember, those are competing. A person designs a predictor. And here's the other really cool thing about this. Remember how I said it was going to supercharge a lot of these other projects? Okay.
Yeah.
Augur is an example of a predictor on our network. The entire Augur network.
On your network?
Yes, the entire Augur network can compete to do predictions on our network.
Oh, okay. So they're still on their network.
Yes. Somebody could go rent out space on Golem in order to run predictors on our network.
Or how come we can't have Chainlink that just chains both of you guys up?
I'm not aware of that.
So,
but
like,
here's an example.
Chainlink is trying to link up all the different blockchains.
We kind of can already do that, but it's not. I'm gonna have to look more into what Chainlink does exactly. But what I would say about that is this specifically: we're deep brain, multiples of these deep brain chain. Hold on, let me pull up my list. Actually, what am I doing?
Right. I remember seeing them in the top 100. Yeah, deep brain.
Yeah,
chain.
Let me pull up this list. I've got a list of them right here. So, a list of examples of people who can be predictors on our network: Augur, Gnosis, Numerai, Golem. Not specifically because Golem is set up to do distributed computing power, but it is an example of a type of application you could run on Golem. Does that make sense? Okay. Singularity.net is they would allow other AIs to interact with our network automatically. That's the type of code work and interface that they're building. Haid could be a predictor on our network. Kaggle could be a predictor on our network. Skychain could be a predictor on our network for specifically medical stuff, because that's what they're focusing on, is medical predictive algorithms, okay? Narwhal, which is not even anything to do with predictive algorithms at all. They are literally just a prediction market. They can compete as a network to do predictions on our network.
Have any of these guys any working models?
I don't know. I'm basing all of what I'm saying based off of analysis of their white paper and if they can execute the way that they say they are going to execute.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't matter because there's already traditional algorithms that can start competing on our network right now. Like, for instance, Netflix could come to us and literally do the exact same thing they did in 2009, but instead of it being a super expensive one-time competition, it would be a continuously running competition for as long as they decide to continue putting funds into it. And the algorithm would continue to get better literally every day.
Ooh. So, okay, let me ask you this, man. What kind of computer model algorithm do you think John McAfee has that told him?
Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy. You know what's funny? Remember how I told you that I was, do you know the name Ethan Erkeltain at all?
No.
He was the host of the Ed and Ethan show. Like I said, it was the first cryptocurrency show. I was talking to him the other day because he's living the high life as an investor as a cryptocurrency investor in the Bahamas now. And I asked him what he thought about John McAfee, and he goes, I'm really not sure if there is some sort of like marketing thing happening here, or if he really hit some bad crack somewhere and is just like really off in la la land with all the stuff that he's saying. Because he's either really driven and being really intelligent and sneaky about it, or the dude is just.
I think he's. But I also think that the fucker has some kind of AI algorithm that's predicting these prices. That's, dude, I would.
Or
he's
more. He could have.
He's
he could
like
have a
he's
team working for him.
yeah, man. I mean, he does. He has. He's the United States biggest Bitcoin miner. Okay, and yeah,
I just read an article about the largest Bitcoin farm in America, and it was interesting because it's in an area of Washington I'm interested in moving to,
Okay.
right next to the Columbia. It's in central Washington. So maybe like the second biggest, or maybe if you include cloud mining. But that dude has the biggest Bitcoin mining facility. That thing's drawing 7.8 terawatts.
Wow. Okay, so you would think though that he's got to look at this computer model, and he's using this computer model for all these other things. And then when Bitcoin hit 10,000 a month before December, they had to go in and adjust this computer AI model, and it came back and it told him that Bitcoin is going to get to $1 million in 2020, or I'll still cut off my dick and eat it on national TV. Like the thing about that, when you go out and say something like that, dude, if you don't have security and all these people have invested and believe that, dude, you're going to be turned into a female and someone's going to make you eat your fucking dick. Like, you don't go out and say something like that recklessly. Like, those words would never leave my mouth.
Do you know much about his personal history, though? He's actually been traveling with bodyguards and specifically staying in places that are only very secure for like 10 years now, I think.
Yeah.
In fact, his armed bodyguards used to get into conflicts with people. It's crazy. Well,
Dude,
ever since that thing happened in Belize where they accused him of killing his neighbor.
Yeah, his armed bodyguards might be the one to do it. Like, I'm sure that they're invested as well. Fuck, who the fuck would you trust if that prediction doesn't fucking come true?
Well, I mean, hey, you could also look at it as job security.
Why?
Well, for his security people. They could just view it as security for their job because he's definitely going to need protection. Whether it's right or wrong, I think he's going to need protection.
Yeah, but if you're John Mack and you didn't hit that fucking thing and you're way off and people are invested in you and everyone's saying, okay, motherfucker, do it. You said you do it. Oh, you don't want to do it now? Oh, okay. I
wonder how that'll play out.
A lot of people are going to, exactly. That's the problem with that. Like, he's got to be very confident in this fucking AI computer thing that tells him this, because I would never say that kind of shit ever in my life. Oh, straight up. There's no way that those words will never leave my mouth. I will never cut it off. Nope.
Maybe his plan is to wait until he can get a cybernetic replacement. I'll just leave it at that.
Ooh, that's pretty fucking sexy there too, huh?
He is a
Make it go back. Wow, huh? Some things I haven't fucking considered into the little computer yet. All right. So what else? What else did you want to talk about, bud?
No, thank you guys for being involved in the crypto space. I really like the lot. I've been looking through your group, and I really like the energy in there. I like what a lot of people are saying, and a lot of the advice that's happening. It looks like you guys have kept it pretty free of the unsavory elements.
Yeah, like we don't like Debbie Downers, man. You know, like we don't know what their intentions are. You know, because who knows if they sold their stake and now they're just coming on here to rag on us. We've had some posts, man, where they want to brag that they sold at the high and rub it in our fucking face, and I don't fucking approve of that fucking nonsense. You sold your fucking stake, then get the fuck out of my group.
You know what it makes me wonder is that I've read a couple of articles recently, well, not recently, like last month, that were talking about an increase in bots on social media, and actually being able to track that like way more people that are on social media are bots than you would think. And that you being able to detect bots all depends on who is running it and how sophisticated their algorithm is for trying to act human.
Really?
But yeah, like essentially, like as an example of this, I saw this on Reddit, and a person went through and was tracking moderators on the Donald and was set up a post in a specific way so that he could monitor their IP address when it came from, and then had it record when exactly they responded, and they would continuously respond to him in amounts of time that aren't even possible for a human to be able to type the amount of stuff that it was typing. And was all like 8 moderators from the Donald were all coming from the same IP address.
Well, I mean,
what? Yeah, because that just confused the shit out of me. Like, what were these?
And it confused the shit out of him. He didn't know what to say about that. Like, is it just the moderators from the Donald making sure that they can respond even if they're not there, and they've designed a chat bot that'll do it automatically for them? Or is it like, it just brings up a lot of questions, because then he started doing the same thing on Facebook and trying to track different people, and I'll have to find the article and try and link it to the group, because it was very interesting. But it started to make me wonder about crypto groups specifically, and how easy it would be to spread FUD by designing a bunch of those bots that look like different people, and then having them spread particular messages to all these different groups.
So yeah, I think there's a even better reason why they would do that. It's advertising, right? When you advertise on social media or anywhere, you pay by the number of views or number of hits that you get.
CPMs.
So when you add money to your account to pay for X number of exposures, then if the bots are picking up and auto responding to that as a hit, then you're paying for nothing, essentially. So you may have really got an organic amount of maybe 5,000 views, and 45,000 may be bots, and they charge you for 50,000 views.
Yeah.
So
here's another part that's even worse than that, Bob. So the way that Kyler just put it to us, man, we might be spending our time fighting bots, dude, not even real human people. Like, remember when I was talking to you about wasted man hours, and that we collectively waste hundreds of man hours fighting spam and scammers and removing them from the group and then approving people? Like, they might not even be real, dude, is the stupidest part about it.
Now, I'm sorry, I love to pitch in here, but this is something Will and I talk about all the time, because we talk about all kinds of different uses for AI and different bots. And I was wondering about Neureal's applications to be able to root stuff like this out. And specifically, I was thinking about CPM and how to, maybe not Neureal specifically, but I guarantee that if Golem starts working and the type of generalized AI stuff that Golem is trying to pitch and a couple of these other stuff, you'll be able to purchase an AI application that is automatically able to vet out with pretty clear accuracy whether that person is a bot or not. And then you can just set that up as a mod on your own account. Basically,
Oh, that'd be so
countering the
nice, man.
technology with the technology.
And not only that, but then it could fucking delete the request without even coming to me. Yeah, that makes sense, man. Because the only other way that I really see a way to end this is to take it to a paid subscription. I mean, I don't see the bots paying money.
A barrier for entry.
Yeah, exactly, man.
But then you're going to get all those types of free promotions that always end up happening, and then that's how people are going to get bots into the system.
What do you mean?
Well, most bots are new users anyways, because Facebook does do a decent job of detecting them eventually because it relies on crowdsourcing to detect and report them. And then they kind of have an algorithm that starts to watch what that behavior was, and they start to analyze where they come from. And so eventually they start deleting them within a couple of days, right? But they develop new ways for these bots to interact and new things for them to do all the time in order to get around the algorithm.
Yeah, to throw them off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did I just lose myself?
Yeah.
I need to smoke.
These
so
are
Autobots unite, right? A little transformer.
Yeah, man.
Thing.
I was thinking about specifically how Neureal. I was thinking about how Neureal could be used to try and combat Facebook's, or not Facebook, but YouTube's problem of specifically like running an algorithm when a channel starts to get big enough to predict whether whether their upcoming videos are going to violate YouTube's user policies and whether there should be an auto hold on it or something so that a human can moderate it before it gets posted. Just thinking about stuff like the Jake Paul thing that happened.
Well, there's a whole new market for Neureal, right? They could have their own app for, instead of antivirus, anti-bot, where you just combat the bot spam. So that's a whole new market. See, go ahead and take that to Will.
Yeah, like I said, I need to get you in on this video contest as soon as we've got it up and running. And again, if anybody wants to know, I'm going to do the plug and then I'll be done. If anybody wants to know more about the Neureal project, go to neureal.net.
Look. Kyler, put. You see the little
orange thing?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me get the actual link and everything. Oh, HTTPS and all pretty.
Yeah, that way I can post it up there and they can just cut, copy, and paste.
Okay. Perfect. So go to that website, neureal.net, and then scroll to the bottom and you'll find our Telegram group. I'm the community manager. I'm there all times. If I'm not asleep, I'll be there.
Neureal.net.
I end up missing sleep to manage the pool, so.
Yeah, the network never sleeps, right?
That's right. So, matter of fact, coming up. Yeah, we'll do it. I was just going to wait for, after Kyler's finished, and then we'll go into that because I've seen some comments about the pool and what's going on. So,
all right, all right, Kyler. So,
thank you guys so much for having me. I'll get in touch with you after the show, and we'll get the CEO on. Thank you, guys.
No worries,
appreciate
man.
You, Kyler. Thanks, man. Thanks for your service.
Yeah, if you want to come back and give us updates or meetups that you have, we'll gladly announce it, man. Like, we're trying to work everybody in. This is a 4-hour show, so if you can come in for 3, 4, 5 minutes. Hey,
actually, if somebody came in and if somebody's here and has questions, we're actually doing a live stream on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. You can find all that information on our various channels. You can come and ask Will and Will and Jen themselves.
We should try to see if we can partner up, man, and broadcast out of.
I'd absolutely love that.
Let's see. All right.
I'll talk to you after.
So we're gonna let you go. Probably be better to talk to one of the other admins.
All right. So, all right, guys. Everybody's been waiting and wondering what the hell is going on with the pool, and me too.
Bob, what the hell is going on with the pool?
All right, guys. So, First of all, to let you know, we did hit a block last night, so that's the exciting part of what happened. And then from there, it pretty much was a shitstorm. So we'll go into the shitstorm right away.
Okay.
As soon as we hit the block, as soon as I was notified that we hit the block and saw it, I posted up, hey, we need screenshots of your pending balance. That wasn't for social media purposes, guys. That was for being able, documenting who gets what. And a lot of people chose to wait 18 hours or more before they decided they wanted to jump on that bandwagon. Well, in the meanwhile, I'm only going to assume that we had more server attacks, I'll say that. And so what we did, Pierre and I discussed it, and we brought in some people, and we totally had the pool rebuilt. One guy in specific rebuilt it. And
I guess,
it's
shout out to Steve.
It's totally been rebuilt from the ground up.
You went unicorn, Bob.
All right, so I got
there you go.
a unicorn on that one, so apologize. So we totally had the pool rebuilt from the ground up, and there's a couple little things that we're trying to work out at this moment as far as it's functional right now. It's working. There's no miners in it. And the reason is because where the old website was etn.ucrypto.com is now just uCrypto.com. So you can make that adjustment in your miner and be mining right back in the freshly rebuilt pool with all the wallets fixed. And everything's should work perfectly. To go back with what the issue was with the original setup is everybody that's been mining in the pool has been rock solid and staying with us and doing their thing, and we totally appreciate that support. But here's what happened. When we had the issues that we have talked about on the show already, which I'm not going to go back and rehash that, right about the time we had 3 back-to-back blocks, right at Christmas, right, the 25th, and 3 back-to-back blocks that were orphaned, which we didn't receive any payout. And then we lost a bunch of miners in the pool, and we didn't have any hashing power, which increased the time that it took to find a block. So this last block took us 12 days to hit. And when we hit the block, it then showed everybody as pending, but the money wasn't dispersing out, the ETN. No worries. Everybody's going to get their due. Okay. Everybody's going to get paid out. And Pierre is going to pay that out. Here's the issue. There's 150 miners that were in that pool when we hit the block. So there's really 150 payouts that need to be made. That's why we were asking for the screenshot, so we could document who had what, that we could start getting those paid out. And we had no intention of the site going down. It was up and running. We didn't even decide to go and rebuild the pool from the ground up just to get all of the riffraff that was happening with it eliminated totally. It's on a different server with a different company in a different country. And, so the one that we're using, there's no way to compromise that anymore because there's nothing there for them to compromise. The payout, Yep. And what it appears, when it was turned over to me, I was given the keys, the wallet addresses, and all of that for the pool. Well, when you looked in the script today, because we hadn't hit a block and there was no payout, so we assumed that it was honorably done and everything was paying out as should. But the wallet address that they gave me was not the wallet address that was in the pool information. So that went somewhere and have no way to track who it went to, where it went to. So it was 7,180 electronium. Okay. We did the math. It was like $1,100 worth of electronium. So Pierre said that, don't worry about it.
Yeah, Big Daddy will take care of it.
So, I understand, guys, that it's a pain in the ass. It's been a huge pain in the ass for me, a huge pain in the ass for Pierre.
Oh my goodness, guys. Not just a huge pain in the ass, okay? So this bullshit with Amazon and all the accounts that were opened under whoever hacked into it. Like Amazon is trying to charge me $83,000.
It was $84,000 when I looked at it a little while ago. And when we went back to try to fix it, because like 4 something, almost 5 o'clock, I got a message as the pool down because I slept, right? And I woke up and I tried to log in to fix it. Amazon had suspended the account, which is what they've done the last 2 times when we were hacked, right?
Yep. And you know what, Bob? Amazon hasn't even sent me an email, okay, that they stopped the account. Nothing from Amazon.
So what we made the logical decision, guys, is that we were throwing good money after bad with the old pool, and we just wanted to eliminate any risk that could be associated with that, and we just friggin' started a new one. We had a guy code it, and the funny thing was, it took him, an hour, 2 hours maybe to get the whole thing set up, website and everything. So if you go to uCrypto.com, www.ucrypto.com, and it's a new site. It's black and orange.
I haven't even gone to it, man. I've actually got it up, but let's see here.
Well, I'm glad you can still get it up here.
Yep.
So,
That's my Joker Miner Bob over here.
So,
superstar.
I am told it is working. Obviously, there's no miners in the pool right now. So if somebody can pop their miner in there real quick so we can make sure that it shows the hash rate in there. It's not showing the network numbers, which is a little disconcerting to me. But to be honest with you, the guy that set it up is in the UK and he's asleep right now. So
this looks a lot cleaner too, though.
Yep. Now, the Windows Easy Miner right now will not function. And I'm going to tell you why. Yes, you can go to the download page, and yes, you can download the miner, but the miner is coded for the old script. So Chris Doobie is in process of changing that, and we're getting it ironed out, guys. So, yep,
we're having pain in the ass all over, guys. Like, we had serious discussions, guys, about just shutting this whole thing down. Like, this thing has been a headache from the beginning. I mean, getting hit with all these messages about $1 here, $1 there, and then it spirals and helping people, and then they go mine somewhere else, and then these hackers and being sabotaged. This thing has been, and now thankfully I'm in the position where I can, if we hit a block, well, that's not a big deal because I can just I can pay everybody, and so I can make that good. But the headaches, the time that we have spent on this, and then Amazon wanting to hit me with $84,000 on top of that, like, this is, I said, okay, one last time, man, let's fucking go with this new company, get off of Amazon, and if we fucking make it make it right and everything, then okay. But I'm done with this, having 84,000. And now I can't, that's what's really stopping me from leaving to Colombia, man, is this, because I know Amazon's going to call me and we're going to have to go back and forth and they're going to say, no, you owe it. And I'm going to say, no, we were hacked. And they're going to come back and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, man. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I hope I'm not stuck with $84,000 bill.
Yeah, you and me both.
Even though Neo has been kicking fucking ass. Like, okay.
Well, with the pool though, he did say the last thing he said before he said goodnight was that the blockchain is sinking. So it had to start all the way from block 1. So all of this time, all the blocks that have been solved have to sync with the network and the wallet before it will function appropriately.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not synced all the way. Chris just said it's not synced. So still collecting the data from there. It's about halfway. So we might have, you know, have to go. We're going to have to wait longer, guys. But if you get it set to that uCrypto.com, as soon as it syncs, it should start hashing in there. And hey, guys, nobody more than me and Pierre realize how big of a pain in the ass this is. I mean, you know, we get it, guys. But trust me, you guys are dealing with your one miner or maybe two miners, or, you know, in a weird instance where some of you guys, you know, like Mike has 4, you know, or something like that. I understand it's a pain in the ass, but now take that 157 times and what I have to deal with on the messages. And then not only the messages, but, you know, hey, is the pool down? I mean, obviously, if you go to the web page and it doesn't look like it did before, there's something going on. You know, be patient. We're working on it. We're on it. You know, I did sleep like 4 hours today or something, you know, and do
Me
that.
too.
But, you know, it's something that, you know, I'm not a pool manager. That's not something I've done before. I'm learning more about it under fire and under duress, but we're trying to get it definitely taken care of. And, you know, hopefully you guys have learned.
I knew this would happen too, Bob. Like, I knew that you didn't know jack shit about it, but like, I still put you in charge of it because you're going to find the solution, you know? So,
what
like,
did Chris posted something up just now?
He said he's about halfway, is what he says. It is.
No, he said something else just now.
It is going to be fixed for good now.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, guys, for good this time. This was our first time doing a pool thing. You know, I hope you guys forgive us. All your money is still safe and still paying everybody out. And we're having some growing pains, but we're going to reward you guys. We're coming up with big things here really soon. Looks like we are going to go to Iowa soon too, bud.
Yeah, I got an interesting call today, so with the other project as well. So I'm going to see how that goes and where that takes us, and still waiting on responses back from suppliers and whatnot. So it's the waiting game. But man, I look at my block folio and I'm like, damn, I don't want to sell any of it, but I'm going to have to sell something soon. You know, I'm in your dilemma. I'm like, really?
It hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, Neo is up, but Electronium's down to like 13, 14 cents right now, and I don't understand why it's dropping like that.
Because everybody's been pulling their money out of the market, man. Look at the market cap. Like, the market cap is 662 billion. Like, remember, we were close to hitting 800, so like 200 billion is fucking gone. Where'd it go? And that's the crazy thing, man. All that money left, and Neo is at right now 171.
It's holding my portfolio up.
I saw it earlier at 190.
Yeah, it was when both of the coins were doing good.
And
you know,
I did the look, I did the Neo to gas calculation, and when I refreshed at that time, it was at $192.05, and my stake was $194,000. 1,994,000, almost $2 million. Neo, my holdings in Neo.
No, Steven, the new miner, the new miner that's on there still goes to the etn.ucrypto.com. We're working on getting that fixed, so it won't work. But if you use Awesome Miner in my video on YouTube, you can get that set up, buddy. And if you have any issues, send me a message and I'll try to help you get it sorted out. It's what I do, obviously. So, you know, that's we're going to try to get it going. I already used what?
I already used the uCrypto.com, so the only difference for me is the orange color. It keeps loading though.
Yep, because it's still syncing. It's only about 60% or 50% done with the syncing of the blockchain. So as soon as it syncs up, you should be good to go. And really, if you're already using those other miners, all you have to do is go into your setting, to your pool setting, where it says stratum plus TCP / etn.ucrypto. You're just going to delete out the etn dot and just make it, take the spaces out, obviously, where it just says ucrypto.com, and it should start working once you get out of that. So that's the only adjustment you need, and it should start hashing away for you in the pool. It may take until the blockchain is fully synced, which could take a while. I mean, it's been a couple of hours now, and it's still only 50%. So hopefully by the time the show's over, it's all synced up and we're good to go again. But what I'm asking, guys, is that you refrain from posting on the website, oh, the pool's down, or I've been hashing for 3 weeks and I haven't got an ETN or something like that. Because you guys that watch this show are the ones that are actually actively seeking the information out, and we're putting it out. What happens is when you do that, then all of a sudden we got 50 posts about people trying to get people to go to other pools, which effectively hurts you in your pool. So because people leave, and when they leave, it takes longer to hit blocks. So it's counterproductive. I still don't understand why we have mods that are approving that. We've said it 50 times. If we said it once, don't approve it, but yet it still happens. And, it's getting to the point to where I'm going to have, I guess, start seeing who's approving it and take it a little one-on-one, since the blanket state not getting it done.
Well, it's hard too to get 29 people on page,
Right.
when we're all in different zones and countries, and there's so many. The mod chat, like, I can't go back to where I left off. There's no way. I'd spend an hour going back to where I left off if that was the case.
Right.
It's just
so. If Chris is still watching, I mean, maybe he'll put a update on what he needs to do as far as changing that easy miner, because that would probably be the easiest bet, since we had it directed to our pool altogether. I don't know if he can change it on the mega, and because it still directs him to the mega, if he just changes that to ucrypto.com, if it'll obviously change the download, but everybody would have to re-download it. Sarah says she'll stay in the pool forever. So we appreciate that, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's what we've been trying to build in this community, and just that friendship and brotherhood that, we're family, right. We're a network. And, we've got definitely, I know we've got 80 people that are like solid, not going anywhere. But see, this is one of those things that,
doesn't that feel special, Bob? Huh?
It does.
80 people that wouldn't leave our little tribe for shit. you
right.
know? Fuck, man, that feels great.
Yeah, that's going to be an impossibility, Tony, at this point, because of the Amazon server suspending the account. We can't even access the server at all at this point. And, that data is locked up in there. So if they unsuspend the account, it should show back up, because that's what happened last time. So, we're maybe when Pierre gives them a holler and says, hey, what the hell's going on with my account? Why is it suspended again for the same stuff that they already admitted was on their end and not our end?
They admitted that?
Well, didn't you say they said it was on their end? This is the reason that all those instances were created on the servers when you talked to them?
No.
You don't remember?
I hope it was on their end. Because they're going to try to hit me for that fucking bill.
Well, I mean, there was no way. I deleted all of the instances, all of the keys, and everything. I made a new key for us even. So, and we put 2FA on. So I can't even get on it without calling Pierre and say, give me the 2FA key. So,
yeah, that is so annoying.
yes, you should be able to remove the ETN dot at the front, and it should. No, you're not, Paulo. That's why I asked everybody in the pinned post at the top of the Facebook page to take a screenshot of what it was last night at about 1 a.m. And do you know what it was, Paulo? If you know what it was, we hit the block at like just after midnight last night. And there was a couple things that happened at the same time. So it's kind of like it was some bad juju, I guess. We had the one issue with the payout. Yes, that's correct, Stephen. So we had the one issue with the payout, which is what we were working on all day. And then Amazon came back and said, hey,
fuck you.
The account is suspended. Then Amazon basically locked everything out of the account, which essentially shut down the pool site, which is when we said, you know what? We're just gonna do this all over. We're gonna start from scratch and build it with somebody that we can trust to build it up. The way it was before, guys, we had, after everybody was paid out, you had to manually go into the wallet on the server and then have to send that money from the server wallet to Pierre's. That's no longer even the case with that. It's going to auto disperse to everybody. It's going to auto disperse to a separate wallet. And then we just transfer from the paper wallet to Pierre. And at this point, guys, the amount of money that's been invested in the pool and the server fees and everything, never get that money back probably, you know. And you know, I'm just being honest. I mean, yeah. You know, it's just one of those things that
you know what though, Bob? You know what though, Bob? It's not about the money on this one, and that's why I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, now it's about we did it whether or not you hacked us or whatever happened, you know. Yeah. So,
and we had our buddies that stuck with us.
Yep. Hey, like and I had to eat crow. I had to eat crow because the person that helped us, I actually banned him from the group at one time when we first started the pool. I didn't know him. You know, it was just like, we got 15,000 members. We're trying to build our pool. You know, don't post in the pool. I didn't have any negative feelings against him. I was just trying to keep the FUD and spam down.
And also promoting our pool because, man, we were struggling at that time.
Yep. So, you know, when that happened, I pulled the trigger. I'm like, I don't need to argue with this guy. I'm a mod. I can just eliminate him. And, you know, so I assassinated him and, you know, he got the resurrection and came back and he did us a solid. And, you know, he's the kind of guy now that, you know, if this project kicks off or when it kicks off, that he's very valuable to me, that I'm going to include him on my other projects, you know.
Nice.
It wasn't personal; it was business, right? I mean, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's how I look at everybody.
I talked to him, and I tried to work it out with him too, man. Because I was like, you know, he's like, I sent him a message, and he hasn't even responded to that. I said, look, believe it or not, Bob gets hit with fucking hundreds of messages. Like, you know, I was like, give him some time, you know, because I know Bob. I mean, we're on the show all the time. He doesn't mean to, you know, be a bad person. I'm a softie. Yeah, he's the softie. I'm the hardball. So he's like, all right. And it still took you like 2 weeks to contact him.
Well, you know, I really, at that point, I didn't have any reason to contact him because the pool was up and running. It looked like it was functioning fine. We hadn't hit any snags or snares. So I'm like, okay, it's working good. We'll see what happens when it pays out. And then when it paid out, it kicked us in the balls again. So we just shit canned it and started over.
And this is the last one, man. I am not going through this again. this is just, it has been too much, man. It's been overwhelming. It's been a drain of resources.
I don't know how many nights I've stayed up all night or most of the night dealing with this, from setting people's miners up to trying to get the pool right. How many times in the middle of the night when it was turned over that, oh, the pool's down, is, you know, it's just
don't worry about that. Let's cheer ourselves up. Okay.
Yeah.
Guess who we've got, man? We've got a special guest that is going to return and clarify some things that we were talking about yesterday. So I didn't announce this.
Is it who I think it is?
Yeah,
is it my new employer?
Well, let's see. Ready, guys? So, guys, everybody share this out right now, right? Let's get.
Yeah, you got to share this.
Yeah, share this out because we've got a really special guest that is coming on right now, and you know, he's going to talk about valuations and how we get to a valuation. This is going to be a good one, guys. So, without further ado.
This is a surprise guest.
Yeah, without further ado,
our buddy, our new buddy. Hey, Mike, what's up?
What's up, Mike?
Watching my ICO sell out, signing multi-million-dollar deals, and
hey, I got a question about that, man. Why is it when you go to the website, and I've got like 15 referrals already, but it doesn't show me how many like bars I've got or anything, and I don't know how much they've invested or what I should expect to go to my ETH wallet,
right,
or my Ether wallet. So can you give me insight on that?
Yeah, it's actually a common complaint that I've gotten recently, and I believe that the referrals are going to be paid out at the end of the token sale, but I've advised my CEO Richard Silver to talk to our web guy, and it's actually getting a facelift right now, and that's part of the piece. It's one of the pieces of this facelift, so that it actually has the value there. So, like 24 or 48 hours maximum, you're going to see it there. You'll have a good dashboard.
Oh, all right, cool.
I had
instructed it to be a game-like, experience instead of what we've got right now.
Okay,
awesome.
I had a question for you too, Michael, because I'm here at the Google Docs forum to
send me all your electronium.
Well, send you 200 and something thousand, and it says transaction hash. What do I put there?
Well, I mean, wow. I really don't know. I mean, transaction hash would assume that you've already sent in the transaction. There's quite a few. I was just talking to my developer. He was complaining. He's like, well, I'm going to be spending the next 2-3 hours sending out all the electronium, deposits that have come in. But frankly, I've not gone through the process of going through that document because my specialty right now is accepting electronium, not sending it. And so, if you
sounds like our pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you send me the link, I'll actually try it myself.
Yeah.
I'll try to buy bars with electronium, and if there's some glitch or something like that, or
right
something
there.
that needs to be cleaned up, I'll do it myself.
Did you see it on the if you look on the bottom left hand side, there's a little orange button.
Here, hold on. Yeah, I got it. How you guys doing, by the way? We kind of jumped right into it.
Good, man. We had a guy on from Neureal, right? Was that how? Neureal.net, and they're in the AI predictive markets, and they're going to have man.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a really good. It was at the very beginning, and when we end this, we're going to have him on. We're going to have him on a lot, actually.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to that guy.
If you want to join in, man, it's going to be a really good.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
thinking all this hash power is going to go to AI. I mean, our guy that's we've got one technical advisor on our team, and he is from he's one of the first people in blockchain to dive into that. He's knowing, he's kind of a visionary technically, and knows that this hash power that we're seeing with proof of work is going to go to artificial intelligence, and so they're already doing stuff with it. He's from NAM. Okay. Vince.
Okay.
You know, so when Vince talks to me about blockchain, even this guy with the big mouth right here shuts up. It's just like, okay, just tell me what's going on. You know, yeah.
Like
So
we've gotten into
makes
some
sense.
far out discussions. Like one of the
Mhm.
ones that we were discussing is an AI being unleashed on social media with its only purpose as being to help improve your life, either
There
through
you go.
jobs
Wellness, you mean? Oh yeah, sure. Well,
jobs
indirectly.
or financially, romantically. Like it would
Jeez.
steer you. It would know what kind of female you're attracted to. And so it would take the data points that those females, wherever they go, and
Right.
overlap, try to steer you to overlap with those data points and try to force you
Oh
into
yeah.
meeting, you know?
Yeah,
And
it
then,
made it a lot easier for me if, you know, my wife like had these like hashtags or these, you know, this metadata that bot would have, you know, been able to pick up on that says, I like overachievers that are workaholics.
yeah,
Boom.
exactly, right?
You know?
And she usually goes to Starbucks at 9 in the morning, you know,
Yes,
so
exactly.
get your butt over at Starbucks and it sends you a coupon too to get your ass over there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what's funny about, you know, like the Bible that I showed you guys, the, you know, the Ethereum book. He makes several correlations between Ethereum and what it can do with, you know, autonomous organizations, you know, decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, and Skynet and Terminator.
Right.
You know, but they just kind of just do their thing, you know. And because I saw, you know, there was this one video, it was a Samsung video. They're ahead of the curve in blockchain, and it showed this dishwasher getting low on dishwashing liquid, and it did machine to machine, like M to M, you know, kind of stuff. And it said, I'm going to go out on the marketplace and I'm going to find the cheapest price for the type of soap I need, and I'm going to order it myself, and it's going to be delivered to me.
Oh, the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And so it comes to your front door and okay. And then okay.
So probably pretty soon they're going to get rid of the I've got to go to the door to get the Amazon package and put the damn thing in. You know, it's probably going to be a drone that comes in, you know, drops off something that goes on over to the soap or it goes over to the dishwasher and puts the damn thing in, goes out the door, you close the door, and off it goes into the drone. That's what I do.
Right.
So right now, FCC and all that stuff or whatever that's controlling those, you know, bandwidths or whatever. It's like, we don't want that in the air. After all, it's a plane, you know, or whatever. But eventually that'll be overcome with enough money and lobbyists and things like that, and stuff like that will happen, I think.
I think so too. I think we're going to see drones delivering everything. They're going to, I believe they're going to have to use the same public roads. So if they do drop out of the sky, you know, they land on cars and not on human beings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of, I mean, what we're going to see first is a bunch of lawyers making a bunch of money off liability stuff.
Yeah.
You know, to be frank with you, you know, that's why if you're looking, you know, you're talking about valuation or whatever, if you're looking into investments, you should be making sure that any coin, token, whatever it is, has done what every, you know, Fortune 500 company does and put a certain percentage of their revenue aside for legal fees, for settlements. You know, because people just find ways to sue you, and if it's something that could be in the media, people like me will basically say, well, we don't want that to happen. We could be right, wrong, or in between. We just don't want that in the public eye, and we're just going to give them the money.
Okay.
Right.
What do you think about this? You know, we were talking with the guy from Neural .net, and he's basically saying that you're going to be able to input whatever kind of future prediction you want, you know. And so I came up with an extreme, and I said, okay, I asked him, what's the probability that I can marry Britney Spears, right? And so, like, it would be.
You want to do that?
No. But hold on. So then it would like be 0.00000001. You know, but then there's going to be apps that are built on top of that will help improve your chances. And we'll try to get those metadata points where you collide and intersect and meet each other.
Right. Do I look like Justin Timberlake?
What do you think about that, man? What, like, it could help improve your chances. Not guarantee them, but improve it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's applied to some things that are kind of real world. I mean, yours is extreme.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I'm an extremist, as many might have guessed, and but as long as it's applied to real world situations, like the redhead down the street or something like that.
He was talking. They were going to donate and do this hurricane prediction, and
that's cool.
And I grilled him on that because supposedly they're talking to the team at Lyft, and I'm like, well, the hurricane prediction thing is free, and you're taking resources away from the Lyft deal. Like, seal up the Lyft deal, and then you'll have plenty of money to do other stuff like hurricane prediction that, isn't really going to help anybody, in my opinion.
Yeah. But, you're absolutely right.
But we brought you on
specifically. We talked about that before. Business sense,
Yeah.
That is in blockchain. Not much. It's in high demand for a reason, because there isn't too many people around that have any business sense.
Yeah, like if you did, right now is the time to get into the business side. If you get the Lyft team talking,
everybody do that.
Yeah, take advantage of it.
Yeah, but yes, I'm not going to say who, but there's a member of my team, previous to Titanium ever even being the slightest idea in my mind, who has put a significant amount of money into Lyft, and Google is now behind them. And if I was an Uber person, I'd be fearful. But yes, you're talking about locking up the deal. That's exactly what I talked about yesterday with you guys. I don't want to drift away from the subject. It's just me helping, not you guys necessarily, but people who are listening. That's where this business sense thing comes in. Is the project run by a businessman, or is it a developer that I said is a dog chasing a butterfly all the time? They're not thinking about things like that. That guy probably reacted and said, "Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we probably should, get the deal signed first and the money in the bank before we do that." People like me never think about that. Obvious.
That's what I like about you, man. So
I like about you.
And it's funny. Hey, Bob. Bob,
what's up?
You know that video that your wife sent me, that legendary?
Right.
I sent it to Michael too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then right under that on my playlist was my next song, which is titled "Whatever It Takes." And I remember Michael when he said "Whatever It Takes," and I said, you know what? He'd probably love this song too. Whatever it takes. Because that's my...
Probably a chance he's going to like that.
Yeah. Something just tells me he's going to like that. And then I saw you in the rock and roll shirt with the flames holding the guitar. I'm like, he'll like rock and roll. He'll like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm a big metal guy, man. My dream is my dream, seriously, all the way.
Right on.
It's like, it's what I told you. It's like, that's why I'm chastised in the tech community. You're not watching Star Trek? What is wrong with you? Yeah, I'm listening to Metallica. There's nothing wrong with
I'll send you some Judas Priest, too.
I love it. Rob Halford, man. Love that.
You got another thing coming.
One of my favorite songs, I swear. There's a lot of people that were brought into Judas Priest because of that song. Remember the Eagle, Battle Eagle.
What's your favorite song in the whole world?
The whole world?
The whole wide world.
It's because it's inspirational. There's a song called "Days Like These." It's by an old band called Asia. It was released in the 1990s, and to me, it has a lot of sentimental value because it's kind of like the "Whatever It Takes" thing. Because the lyrics, I love the song. Okay, but and I know the people in that band. I know the people in Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I know the people in King Crimson and Yes, for example. I'm a big prog rock guy, although it was before my time. I love that type of music because it's a melding of classical music and rock music. You know, you can hear Mozart in these. You know, it takes a certain degree of skill to do that type of thing. In comparison to, no offense if you like the Beatles, Love, Love Me Do, which has 2 chords, and you know, I could teach my 5-year-old to play that thing in like 5 minutes flat. You know, these guys are, you know, extreme musicians. Are like Rush, for example. It's a musician's band, and you just sit back and like, what did you just do? You know, it's like, how did you do that? You know, that type of thing. But days like
what
these,
about you, Bob? What's your favorite song?
I remain unaffiliated.
Okay.
To me,
you don't have a favorite song?
No, I've got like favorite bands and genres. You know, I'm a big Kiss fan, and I noticed you talked about Gene Simmons yesterday. So Kiss, I like.
But you don't have a favorite song in the whole world.
No, not one that just stands out that is like, ooh, you know. So I was about to say you probably are familiar with Yngwie Malmsteen then.
I actually have conversed with this individual. You have to be very tactful with him. He is a virtuoso, and he's a Fender Stratocaster guy. I'm not, but he's a very interesting individual, and I'll say he's arrogant for a reason. He's like
he's
Joe
got
Namath.
Skills. Yeah, he's got.
It's like Joe Namath. I'm going to win the Super Bowl. You know, so and it's like, hey, he knew. You know, it's not really bragging. You know, he just knew. But yes, Yngwie is like prog rock. He played with symphony orchestras. In fact, I've watched them and wish that I could play like him. But days like these, it's like that. Whatever it takes things. It says, you know. Let me try to remember.
I'd like to check it out.
I will. It says it doesn't matter what it takes. You either have it or you don't have it. You've got to reach down your own throat and drag it to the surface. It may be brutal, it may be gory, but whatever else it is, it's my story. Okay, that's not whatever it takes kind of thing. It's like you're a natural. You're either born to do that, or you're born to be, you know, I hate to use the term sheeple, you know, that they're flatline. You know,
I consider it more alphas and betas. You're either alpha or you're not. You know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like Deion Sanders says, it's not bragging if you can do it.
Right, Namath. That's exactly. I mean, he wasn't bragging. He just knew the matchup between himself and I believe it was the Green Bay Packers that particular year, and he knew that the matchup was in the Jets' favor, and he just said it like it was. You know, if you listen to the interviews of him, he was not like, you know, one of these big. It's like a big heavyweight fight that's going to happen where you guys are, where they're saying things on purpose to antagonize the other opponent and, you know, get the, you know, the play fight going on. He just calmly said, well, you know, no, I really think that we're going to win, and we're going to win by a substantial margin. He's like that, you know, nice and calm, you know, hey, we're going to win. And sure enough, they did. And Deion Sanders is the same way. When he was on the Cowboys, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, like it or not. And I mean, how could you argue against that? You know, the other team, of course, can't say anything because it's going to deflate the morale, you know, of their fan base, to basically say, oh, we're playing a dynasty now, and the chances of us winning are pretty slim. You know, they're not going to say that. But Deion was on that team, and he knew.
You know what? That brings me to my next question. Who's your football team?
Dallas.
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys? Okay.
Yeah, Dallas.
Mine's Denver Broncos.
I wanted to congratulate you on the news that came out with HTML Coin today. That, you know, congratulations on that. And
more comments.
You know, man, you just keep racking them up. Hey, that's just more opportunity for me to work for you because you got more work than you can possibly do.
That's right. I need a few bobs. We have to go after artificial intelligence. We have to go into how to use hashtag for cloning.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny, man. I'm probably going to have to use you too to help me get me on the exchanges as well.
I certainly will.
Nice.
That's the point. And I mean, supply and demand again, right? I mean, the developers, can they talk to other people? No. Can they convince other people? No. Can they do business deals? No. And here I sit. It's kind of like a vortex. I'm happy to do it. I mean, I'm helping out people. I mean, I get it, but, you know, I'm a businessman. I'm not a pro bono lawyer that's trying to help people out. I'm going to stack up a bunch of cash.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Nothing wrong with that, man. I like that. That's what I'm here for. And I'm here to do that for my investors as well.
Nothing's wrong with it. I mean, if I already told you.
Nothing is wrong with that. We're not communists around here.
Exactly. There was some guy who got in touch with me. It was at Verge, and he was upset about there was a distribution of wallets that were large in size, and one of them was mine that had 8 digits in it. And he's like, well, that's unfair. I mean, you should distribute Verge over the entire organization, or the entire community, so that the distribution of wealth is fair. And I said, hey, here, get this straight, buddy. Verge is not run by Karl Marx.
Yeah.
Okay. Wake up, man.
Yeah, right. Some people are pie in the sky, and a lot of them, they're developers, and oh my goodness, man,
I'm a capitalist.
Exactly. Me too.
And I told you, I mean, I'm a libertarian, and I read Atlas Shrugged a million times, and I told you what that means to me. It means maximum liberty and freedom and minimum government intervention. I don't want them messing with me. I don't want them to know what's happening in my home. I don't want them to know what I go down to the local 7-Eleven and buy on Tuesdays. Who cares about that type of stuff? This metadata that they're talking about is George Orwell's Big Brother in action. I don't
give a fuck if they know what I'm buying.
Yeah, I do. I guess.
Yeah. I don't care about that. But when I'm in the privacy of my home, that's where it ends right there. Fuck you guys.
This is my bumper sticker. I like it. You see that?
Atlas Shrugged.
Now nonfiction. Now it's real.
I'll show you mine.
Okay, as a respectable businessman, I can't get away with it. You can. That's what I'd say there. But you get the point. I mean Atlas Shrugged. There's a famous speech by, I think his name's Francisco something or other, and he operates a coal or a copper mine. And it's huge. I mean, it's this dissertation about money and people making fun. He's like, well, you shouldn't have that money. And what she was doing was warning the United States against, how nice sounding socialism sounded at that point in time at the Soviet Union. And it's a huge dissertation. I won't go into it. But the bottom line is, he says, money is not the source of all evil. Money is a representation of the value that you have put into society. Boom. And so if I got a bunch of money, that means I helped society. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. There are people that game the system or whatever, but I didn't.
Corruption, correct.
Yeah.
But they're going to get punished by their price valuation. And remember yesterday when I said, every coin basically is like its own country, and the CEO is actually the president. You're basically printing money, and the investors, we have come together and decided what a reasonable price is. And then when you have different exchanges, collectively, people who are, not in touch with us, they agree too. And we come together and say, okay, at $5 right now, we're good.
That's what it's worth.
Our president has got plans to up our production and whatnot. And we believe in that. And it should be at 10. And we're not going to sell, and we're going to make the new people come in and buy a little bit more as we advance.
Yeah, and that's what I try to do. That's what I tried to do with Verge Titanium. Yes, I am.
I'm trying to join your country, but I want a passport.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't have them. I'm going to have physical coins soon. I'm going to have paper money soon. I kid you not. At the end of this month, I'll have physical coins, that are bars that you can spend. And I've gotten, that's a mint. And that guy said, hey, I'm a coin maker, because I'm like, I'm a coin collector. I told you. So I was like, oh, you can make physical bars? Oh, no, don't do that. I said, give me 10,000. and the dude says, well, I got this friend. He's over here in Belgium. He knows a place that you can make paper money, and you can put your QRC codes on it. You can actually spend titanium bars. Do you want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Give me 100,000.
Right.
1 bar, a 5 bar, a 10 bar, a 20 bar, 50 bar, and 100 bar. They're going to be made.
Is it going to be like the little 1 ounce silver that you can buy, or is it like
it's going to be like, I almost pulled out the Bitcoin one. I'm a big Ethereum guy, but it's going to be exactly like this right here. I don't know. It's good like this.
Okay.
Awesome. I want one. I want one.
I did too.
Everybody would want one. But I mean, it's a big thing. It's like, when I talk about mass adoption, you know, you talk about my mom or my grandmother or whatever. The thing that they've got to get over is, you know, that they can't hold it in their hand. You know, it's kind of like the 10x thing. But I figured, you know, if I put the bar in somebody's hand, you know, then the people that
But
are
you
on the
already can't hold your money in the hand, Michael. If I work for you, you direct deposit my paycheck into my account virtually. I go to the Walmart and I spend it virtually, or at the gas station or wherever, go online and pay my power bill. I don't touch that money. Only a very small percentage do I actually put in my wallet in fiat. Everything else is virtually held by either the bank or Walmart and their banks.
Understood.
I mean,
but
it's all just a bunch of numbers right now. And so we see the powerful, because the natural progression is that it just keeps on going. We talked about this last night. Like every country in the world will have their own cryptocurrency, and we can see this coming. It makes sense. And
writing's on the wall.
Yeah, the writing is on the wall if you can read it. And like Michael is at the poker table and he's holding the nuts, and people are re-raising. Is basically what's happening. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm holding the cards like this, except they're 2U, and I've got a royal flush, and I'm showing him my cards.
Yeah.
I've got it.
And you're still fucking going all in with your fucking 2-7.
With that ace stuck to your forehead.
No, because, well, you guys, I mean, it's a personality type. You're saying there's alphas and there's betas, and I'm obviously an alpha, right?
Right.
And to me, it's rather obvious to everybody, including myself, that titanium is a smash success right now. The momentum is with us, and you know this tipping point has taken place, and all these people are getting sucked in like a vortex. It's like, holy smokes, somebody actually knows how to do this thing right, and they're coming to me and asking me to be a technical advisor. I'm turning people away. That's why that's happening, you know. And so yes, we
wanted to discuss a little bit with you, and specifically we brought you on because we continued the conversation without you, and I thought that it was such an important part of the conversation that really we needed to hear it from you, and it is about valuation. So you have valued your coins at $1. Convince us why it's worth $1.
Oh, sure. You know. First of all, you know, the cap of the coin is 35 million. It's a deflationary currency.
I like that.
I know you do. These numbers were not, you know, I hope that, you know, after one conversation with me, that anybody listening to me is like, this guy does not just guess at stuff. Everything that he does is strategy. And I'm a chess player.
Me too.
And that means, okay, good. We're going to have to play.
Good, yeah.
And, no, I'd be looking forard to it.
Yeah, I used to kick the shit out of everybody in the prison yard.
Okay, good.
I
haven't played in a long time, so if you kick my ass, it's like I gotta play better. You know, so the point is that I took, from my perspective, I don't think anybody knows what the hell they're talking about when it comes to ICOs. You know, that you have to go through the process like myself to learn, and there are a lot of consultants. As soon as you list yourself as an ICO, you know, I immediately got all these, you know, emails, marketing. Oh, you have to pay us. You know, that's what's going to make it happen. You know, you have to have all these, you know, high-end advisors. Vince is a friend of mine who's on the team, who I work with at Intel, Nilo. He's down here in Long Beach, and it's just a friend. He wanted to help. You know, it's not the sure, I'll be a advisor for you as long as you give me 10% of your entire coin's worth. You know, then we're back to venture. I mean, I put it nicely, but that's exactly what I said. You know. Same thing. We're back to you know, the thing I love about
those developers, they would have taken that fucking deal.
Yes, they absolutely would, because they're just not. Oh, you give us money, we give you equity. Well, first of all, they wouldn't even have said equity. We're going to give you a bunch of coins, right? That's what they'd say. They wouldn't even know that they just gave away 10%. We're back to Shark Tank. They gave away 10% of the equity to a VC or an angel investor. They wouldn't even know that. That's why they wouldn't even know if they could really get, I mean, it's cost per customer, you know, what the average cost per customer would be, you know. I was supposed to have a guest on earlier today, and last month he had sales of $1 million.
a little over $1 million actually. Yeah, he's an internet marketer, one of the top dogs, and someone like that, like I have access to, and he could make my Facebook marketing campaign. Like,
yes, they're very, and I wouldn't have valuable.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have to give him 10% of my company.
That's what I've done. That's what I've done. I mean, all that happened with me, you know, and we're getting off the beaten path. I will tell you why it's worth whatever. But what happened to me was kind of like, well, it wasn't happenstance. I was doing what Michael Stollaire does. You know what that is. And somebody on the Electronium marketing team took an interest to me.
Okay.
They knew I also was a big, you know, supporter of Electronium. I was part of the community, and I wasn't talking about it. I was putting my money where my mouth is. If anybody understands that, it's you, right, Pierre?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And it's like, this guy's not talking about Electronium being awesome. He obviously believes
we put our
he's
money,
a believer, you know? Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, he's obviously helping, you know, the Electronium community, whether he does it obviously or not. And they took a liking to Titanium and convinced the entire Electronium marketing team to come to me and basically say, hey, you know, it's kind of like your Facebook guy, and I'd be happy to introduce you to these people too, because it's kind of like part of the Michael Stollaire ICO consulting thing that's going to happen, you know, down the road, whether I like it or not.
One hand washes the other.
Yeah, yeah. So they came to me, and they're like, "Well, and this is the way it is really right now, because of supply and demand within the, you know, the blockchain subculture, is that, you know, they know it's obvious, they know what they're doing, and they came to me and basically said, hey, we don't work for every single person that has enough money to pay us, and they ask a certain fee, and it's not ridiculous like we were talking about. We choose who we're going to work for, and we believe Titanium is a winner, and we believe you are a winner, and that's how that happened, you know. And no, I didn't have to give away, you know, millions of coins.
1%, you know.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even one.
And then you pay the advertising costs. You know, just set up the campaigns, make sure that we got tracking, and we know what the.
Yes, I asked for reports. I mean, that threw them. I came back, you know, as a businessman, I'm like, okay, no problem. Every week, I would like a progress report. I'm a big details and metrics person, and I want to see whether or not, whether or not your performance is in alignment with what I'm paying you to do. And they're like, what? A status report?
Yeah.
You know,
all the other developers don't ask us for that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The developer didn't ask us for that. He was too busy chasing that butterfly. Yeah. Exactly.
Nice.
So we're on the same page. Them out, you know. Yes, and I've got a bounty guy that's awesome. We've already talked about it. You know, we're already seeing past the end of the Titanium ICO, and they realize that people are getting in touch with me for a reason, to be a technical advisor and to be a consultant to their ICO, because I know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, I am a comedian, as you're aware, and people will ask me. Yeah, good. And that's why we get along so well. That bromance lives on. You know?
You got to laugh and enjoy life.
Yeah, of course. Who cares about these? I mean, I do care about the numbers going up, but if you don't enjoy your life along the way, then you're not a success, in my opinion. If you're not happy, that's a big piece of it, you know, for me. If you got a bunch of money and you're depressed, you're a failure.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Like, I do this out of fun. You know, this is fun work to me. I can talk with you. I can talk with Bob. I can talk with all these people and have all these, you know, intellectual conversations about where AI is going, the blockchain, and and we do this for 4 hours every day. So it's really like
that's a long time.
Yeah, right.
But you explained it to me yesterday when you said we're the Howard Stern of crypto, you know, or blockchain, and but that's what that guy does. Yeah, you know, 4 hours every day or whatever. But it's fun. I mean, it probably for me, yesterday and today, most likely you're going to be like, wow, that went so fast, you know, because it's a fun time. And you guys, you know, I commend you for not, you know, it's kind of like a no holds barred kind of thing. And you let people say what they want.
You know, we weren't softies with you either. I guess I saw some of the interviews and I thought they hit you really softly and were like googly eyed to have a CEO on their show. You know, but I try to be a little bit more in detail and
you should. No, it's good because you're first of all, you're doing two people a service, or two sets of people to service. You're I'm getting a drink. You're doing.
Let me get a beer. Let me get a beer.
I'm not drinking a beer, but you guys are doing 2 sets of people to service. You're doing your viewership and listeners a service, right? But you're also doing me a service. I mean, if you pay attention to what I say and what online, if I'm typing it or if I'm saying it, I say there's 2 things that I embrace as the president, of the titanium ecosystem, which is brutal honesty and constructive criticism. Please tell me what's wrong with titanium. If something's wrong, I'll say, hey, that thing sucks. Okay, right. Or it could be improved. Okay, it could be improved, and I bring in the right resources, and we improve it. And then I go back to that person, and I say, okay, is it good enough yet? Because this is what Mercedes would do. They do these target group, focus groups. And I've actually participated. I said, my Mercedes SUV is great, except the air conditioning in the back sucks ass. Improve it, and they pay attention. If enough people say the same thing, that the air conditioning in the back sucks, they'll improve that. That they want that. I want that. I'm not, again, developers are the artists.
Me too. Like I tell everybody that comes on the show, man, if there's something I said that was wrong or something, call me out on it. And let's see, get me to that logical conclusion of your point of view. But
the difference, I think, between the alpha and beta that we're talking about is like, and I'm sure you guys will agree with this. The difference between us and other people is when I got into crypto, I didn't know jack shit about crypto. Right? I nothing. I knew Bitcoin, and I didn't have fiat. And I'm like, well, how can I get in? So then it's like, well, I'm going to start mining. Well, how do I mine? And I spent hours and hours and hours researching to generate crypto until I had enough fiat to invest. And it's not about how I was going to do it, or not why I was doing it, but how I was going to do it, and making stuff happen as compared to reacting and trying to find a reason why it can't happen. So I mean, that's a big difference. Like Michael, you see a problem and you're proactive and you attack the problem, and that's what I try to do. That's what Pierre tries to do. And with crypto, this whole group and whole thing was, based on Electronium saying, hey, we want crypto for the masses. Well, if you look at it from our standpoint as investors, we want cryptos for the masses as well, because the more they're involved, the higher valuation our holdings are, and supply and demand, we all profit. So that's kind of the mindset that we try to
okay. So let's try to get Michael back on to the
I was about to say, segue. Yeah, so deflationary currency, I've got clients that, again, if the chances are 5% and they're higher than that, all I have to do is, I think next week, in fact, I will be able to announce the first client that is signed to Titanium to migrate off of cloud-based services like Azure and Amazon Web Services. Yeah. Yeah, well.
Okay. How many do you have those in the pipeline?
That would be 5 now. But there's one that looks, one that looks
monster deal?
It's rather big. It's not monster. I'm known for synthesizing FOMO, but this is not one of the occasions. It's medium. It's enough to say, wait a second, this is going to work. Okay. Like that. And another one.
How much is it worth? Can you general
9 digits?
Vicinity? 9 digits.
9.
And
another one looks real darn good.
Let me ask you this: the expected profit, not revenue, but profit. That's enough to sustain the company. Just that one deal.
That's very important because, and I gave this advice to somebody earlier today. I said I was talking with a new exchange that's going to launch in Asia that is also going to be bringing me on as a technical advisor. An announcement's going to be made about that soon, like HTML, is this initial valuation. Like to you guys, I found out, again, trial and error going across that ICO minefield, that if you have a hard cap above 50 million, it gets scary for you guys, because of other... No? Okay. Well, a bunch of people said it was. You know, because it takes a lot of money to do what I do. But the way I thought about it is if I came in at a small value, but you must admit that as the hard cap goes down and the look, if you get all the check boxes about here was what makes a good investment are getting checked off. If in comparison to another potential target for your investments, titanium has a smaller hard cap, you're going to prefer titanium over these other ones, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and we compared you yesterday to electronium, and so let me explain to you how we got to there and how you look like the better value right now. So
be careful.
Electronium is at 21 billion total max supply, and you are total max supply of 35 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so
18 decimal points.
Yeah, and so if we said that that 35 million and we equaled it to a penny, and then we multiplied that times 100 to get to $1, your total market cap would be at 3,500,000,000. Okay, right? Whereas electronium is at 21 billion. So, you know, you can see the 1 penny and the
buck.
Yeah, the difference between the total market supply. Like if we got you both to $1, or if we got electronium to $1, right, and you to $1, and compared the total market supply or the total circulating supply from both of you guys, like there is how many 17.5 billion less coins with you, which makes you more attractive.
Yeah, and
I
tried
attractive.
I mean, I tried to because their objective, to achieve their objective, they had to do what Verge did, which is to have a large volume of coins for price stability, you know, is what's behind that, you know.
They wanted it for price stability?
Verge, yes.
And ETN?
Yes, not at ETN, I'm assuming, because Verge did that. They did 16.56 or whatever it is billion of those coins, and it was always explained to me that because of price stability, they didn't want it to go zipping up, you know, or whatever, and they wanted it they wanted it to be like the United States dollar, because their philosophy was, you know, that Bitcoin failed Satoshi Nakamoto's original philosophy and dream of Bitcoin being the money that you would take to the local grocery store and buy a loaf of bread with, and it became digital gold. Now, from an investor standpoint, that's awesome. But I'm sure you'd agree that if you heard somebody say that they walked down to any grocery store that's accepted Bitcoin and they bought a loaf of bread with it, that they had identified themselves immediately as being an idiot. Okay, nobody's going to spend that stuff, and that's why Bitcoin failed from the originators, you know, idea of Bitcoin, and so that's why, you know, at least Verge did that, made a huge supply of coins so that it could approximate a nice even curve. It may go up and down, but it's kind of like a sine wave, you know, this type of thing.
And you know what? Bob was covering Verge for a long time, and I'm so glad I didn't get into Verge. Like, I do not agree with that philosophy, not one fucking bit. Like, thank goodness I did not get into Verge.
Yeah, that was pimping.
So in comparison, we did the comparison with you, and so I could see the valuation of how you get to $1. Okay, like that was, I just wanted to show you my reasoning of how I get to, you know, the dollar easily. So, but what I didn't know is what, from your, like, how did you get to the dollar? Okay, I know that, okay, now you've got a 35 million circulating supply, but like the plans, the deals, is that what made you go to the dollar? Up to $1?
Well, first of all, you know, I know that the dollar is going to be stable in comparison.
Okay.
You know? And as an Ethereum, as an Ethereum guy, I know what's behind that thing, and I think it's a matter of time before what's called the flippening does take place, because the reality is that as soon as more people get educated, they'll realize that blockchain is an operating system platform. That is what it is. Bitcoin is not blockchain, and the vast majority of the world thinks it is, and it is not. And they will become educated, and they're going to find out that blockchain is just like Windows or Mac OS or iOS or Android. It's an operating system, and that blockchain is an application that runs on that operating system, and what it does is it transacts money, and that's it. There's a lot of talk about it doing more than that, but have we seen it do more than that? No, we have not. We've seen it done, in my opinion, a terrible job, witnessed by the transaction times and the amount of money you have to spend in fees just to get Bitcoin from one place to another. And
honestly, it's not terrible.
Taking it over.
It is not terrible. No, and I'll give you this example, okay? Because compared to the alternative, okay, my mother, she had sold her properties here and moved to Cancun, bought a property there, and there was a company that she could send her money from the States to Mexico. But then 6 months later, she gets tired, she sells, and she wants to move back, right? There's no company from Mexico to the United States for her to send her money back, right? And then, so she comes and she moved in with me for a couple of months, man. But anyway, she was she was trying to get her money, and she actually had to drive to El Paso, Texas, cross over the bridge, right? Go to the bank.
Not the right place to go, man.
And
I know from Mexico, but that's just the wrong area. Whoa.
I grew up there, so it's not a big deal.
Grenades? You give you grenades at 5?
Actually, Michael, it's funny because in Juarez, I was actually kidnapped, and I killed the kidnapper. But that's for another time. So my mom, right, she has to cross the bridge, go into this bank, and then the bank only carries so much amount of money.
Yes.
And so she had to do this 5 times. And then when she leaves the bank, then she has to go to a casa de cambio to change her pesos into dollars. And then she has to go across the bridge, declare it at customs. Okay. And then, customs wants to interview her to make sure it's not drug money. So there's another 45-minute, interview. And then finally she can go, leave and go to her bank and deposit it. She did this for 5 fucking days, man, because the bank only had so much amount of money every day, right? And then she was like, and I was worried about my security, because what if they were phoning somebody, and they come and get me at the Casa de Cambio? My mom was like kind of freaked out about this. And I was like, yeah, but come on, Mom, whatever. But so she came in, but all of that is avoided, even with Bitcoin. Like she could have sent all her Bitcoins, bam, to over there. And even if it took a day or whatever, it sure beats, having to drive one day, get a hotel, or actually get a hotel for 5 days, pull your money out, go to the Casa de Cambio, and then customs, and oh my goodness. So it's not terrible when you consider the alternatives.
Yes, and that wasn't, just to be clear, I was not comparing Bitcoin to fiat or SWIFT or anything like that. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that I'm a fan of anything that I'm about to talk about, but in comparison to Electroneum and Ripple, right, the transaction fees are lower, and the transaction is faster. That's what I was saying. In comparison to fiat, hands down, Bitcoin is the obvious choice, and I've heard many horror stories like that, and I believe that if a businessman was behind something like Ripple, they'd be going after MoneyGram and Western Union. Those would be my first 2 targets, remittances.
I think Ripple did sign with MoneyGram. I heard something about that.
Sign with them?
I think you were telling me that.
Yeah, I saw a post where they were partnered with MoneyGram or something like that.
That's what I don't like about Ripple is they have the capability to wipe them out, and they're being buddy with them to a certain degree. But you get my picture. And in comparison to other cryptocurrency, I think I said that yesterday. The big Ripple conference. It's like, oh, who's the keynote speaker? Ben Bernanke. Oh no, they're not in bed with the banking establishment. Big money or anything.
That drives a lot of that drives a lot of people away, you know. And with me, it drives me closer because, like, okay, these guys are in bed with these guys. I like that. They know how to make money.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, one of these things. You know, either I'm one of these philosophically, although I appreciate what's behind it, because cryptocurrency was designed to make sure that these banks didn't do another trick like 2008 again. I can't say philosophically I'm behind them. However, from an investment standpoint, I think I said yesterday, if you do not hold Ripple, you are by definition stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so we've talked about how you got to the current valuation of titanium. So, as the businessman that you are, you obviously have a projected forecast of future value of titanium.
Yes,
so, where do you envision the price of titanium in the future?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of these. You know, oh, here goes the switch again.
Because I was going to even add to that. Will you do a John McAfee?
John McAfee? Who's that?
where he says, you know, Bitcoin gets to $1 million in 2020, or he cuts off his dick and eats it on TV.
Yeah. This whole. I mean, I am a betting man, as you guys know. I love your town for that reason, and if I was there, I'd be drinking Macallan and playing blackjack. However, betting my own genitals, I'm just not going. No, that's where I draw the line. Not
those words will never leave my mouth. Okay, yes, I will never cut my thing off ever.
Yes.
All right, Pierre, let him get to the question, bro.
Yes. So I can't. For good reasons. All I can say is, you know, the following, which has been fed to me, which is that the titanium bar has one use within the titanium ecosystem, and that is the only currency that can be used within the titanium ecosystem to pay for products and services. Now, with that being said, with circulating supply that you guys all know about, and my capability to sell custom snowflakes to Eskimos in the middle of winter, it is not going to take that long for me to talk to a bunch of my clients, and one of them is going to go for titanium, and I believe that will take place sooner than a lot of people think, but it most likely will transpire just because of the process. All I can do is kind of like, hey, you want to try that in development and your sandbox environment and just, you know, compare it to, you know, Amazon or Azure and see how it goes. I'm going to give it to you for free. You can have it for free for 6 months. It's not going to cost you anything. You just have to try it.
Okay, so you did tell us now that you'll give it to them for free. Like the analysis I did for the Electronium deal.
Can I answer the question though? I want to get to the end. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm being rude. Normally I'm not. Which is, so you guys, again, it's a numbers game, sales-wise. But the chances are 5%, and I've got 20 clients, and I got more than that. I'm going to sell one of them, and it's going to be after the ICO transpires at the rate we're going. I mean, 2 days back, it was after the Electronium deal, which was kind of like we were already on that trajectory, but the Electronium announcement created that tipping point where that boulder went over the top of the mountain, and it was just like, okay, I don't really have to work anymore. This thing's on autopilot, you know. Kind of thing. 2 million I woke up to. Yesterday, 4 million. Today, it could be as much as 8 to 10 million. They're still calculating how much money's coming today. So the point is that we're going to sell out pretty damn soon. And this sellout will take place previous to, most likely, at least, a household name client being signed in terms of migration. Because even if I'm going through the process, it is a time-consuming thing. It's not like me going down the street to a local mom-and-pop shop and saying, "Hey, you want to use titanium?" You know, that's not going to work. You know, when you go into an Intel or something like that, even if you know the right people, and I do, and you know the right methods, and I do, you have to just kind of, you know, plant the seed, and every once in a while get in touch with them and say, "Hey, you know, Brian, did you check out the metrics that we sent you in that report that shows titanium is better and cheaper?" You know, you just have to, you know, move it along nice and slow. It's a technique. It's an art, you know, to a degree.
It is. It is. Definitely.
Okay. So, but the point is all those tokens are going to be sold previous to that, and one of these clients, just one, decides to move to titanium, then supply and demand takes over. The only way that client can pay for any services and products in my ecosystem is the titanium bar token. And who owns them?
We do.
Me.
You own them.
And you're going to pay me a premium.
Hey,
I just wanted to get down to more of the numbers. Like I was saying, that Electronium deal where they have 65 million monthly users, and I could, reasonably price it at least a penny a million, because you can't advertise to a million people for less than a penny. So at the very minimum, and then 65 million. So I think ETN should be valued at the very minimum 65 cents. Can I do that with these numbers, like this deal that you're doing? So it's a 9-figure deal?
8-figure deal.
Potentially. 8 figures.
Potential 9. Yeah, potentially 8 figures, potentially 9 figures. But again, that's months down the road. I've got to do that.
Yeah. You've got to build it up, and they've got to test it and everything like that.
I can't do what I do with you guys. Hey, buy this.
Yeah. But I just want to get there. Like, okay, so 8 figures. Jeez, man. Like if they have to, if the deal is 8 figures and they have to buy 8 figures worth of titanium, and I'm gonna be really,
That's why the contract has 18 decimal places. Again, I'm playing chess.
That's why. Like I wanted to come a little bit with the numbers so I can see that.
Yeah.
So
I can't stay much longer, by the way, but yes.
No worries.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we even fired Amazon ourselves today. So with our mining pool, so give you a little. I mean, they couldn't even keep guys from creating instances on our server that we just run our pool on.
But it's because they don't. I mean that. But it's not. I didn't hear that story, Bob. But I've heard so many stories like it's because they're doing what IBM did before these 2 kids, Wozniak and Jobs, were in this garage up here in Northern California. They're like, hey, we're Big Blue. We're number 1. Nobody's going to beat us. We don't have to do anything for competition's sake because we don't have any. It's not like some kids are going to create something out of the blue sky that's going to blow us away or anything. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what you're seeing right now with Amazon and Azure and the rest of them. They're a cartel, like I say. They're buddies with each other. Their prices are pretty much, they just kind of move this, that way. There's not really any big features coming out because they're so monolithic, And I was thinking about this Amazon thing, and I think I talked to you guys about it, about this guy saying, hey, we're not going to do blockchain. We're not going to put our services on blockchain. And, I don't think this guy's a stupid guy. Yeah. Yes, I was like, ka-ching. Thank you, Santa. Something like that.
When you're the biggest guy in town, there's no need to improve because you've got the monopoly, right?
That's why.
Why spend the money? I don't have to. I already got all the customers.
Right. And if it was me, I would be having these third-party, hackathon auditors coming in and saying, find anything wrong with our security. We have to make it bulletproof. We cannot afford to launch and, have our first client. See, they don't have that motivation. They're not young and hungry and agile like myself, and that kind of segues into what I was about to say, which is I don't think this guy is dumb. I think he knows that there's a titanium out there or something like it. And because you said they're big, back in the day, if it was U.S. Steel, for example, that would be something like, oh, they're big. That bigger is better. Say no. With technology and software development, that's why I kind of laugh when people use agile software development within huge companies because it's not agile. They're using agile, but they're like the Titanic.
It's not agile.
It's the iceberg. We're like 10 miles out. Start turning now.
Yeah.
Now here's titanium.
You got a visitor behind you.
Hey, so Michael, I know you've got to go.
Well, I want to reach into that story too. It's important for you guys and the listeners, but yeah.
Is there any chance that, because I don't know how I'm supposed to put this hash rate thing in here.
I have no damn clue.
Right? Can I just send it to you, bud, and then you send me your bars?
Yes, of course.
Right on, man, because I can do that from my app, my Electronium app, and it's so easy, man. I really like this app.
Yeah, I almost bought an Android. As soon as I like, hey, you want to come on and be a technical advisor? I'm like, yeah, put it on the iPhone. Oh, I can't. Damn it. Amazon. Android. It was kind of like that, you know.
And why is it that it doesn't want to go onto Amazon? I mean, to Apple.
Oh, it does. I mean, they're in beta right now. They're just going through the same, you know, they're going through that little process. You know, Apple's extremely famous for being diligent, and they should. They shouldn't just allow anything, and there should be a certain level of quality control. But I want to finish my little story before I go about this Amazon guy. I don't think he's stupid. My point about this Titanic and the speedboat, you know, Amazon's a Titanic and Titanium's a speedboat. When we use Agile, we're really agile and we're hungry. We want to cut costs a lot more than them. They're like, yeah, you know, 300 billion this quarter. Oh, you want to do this? You want $1 billion? Here it is. See, the lights are going out. That means I got to stop. But that's not a big deal with them. I truly believe they're waiting for another smaller company like Titanium to do what I'm doing, and then
just buy you out
wait for the right moment and buy me.
Oh, perfect. I like that even more. So
Everybody
send me your address.
Strategy.
Because look, I've got the app right here, and
this takes anything to me.
This just takes a couple of seconds, and I can send it to you.
I'll send it to you.
So if you put the little one in the little team chat here, I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah. And when I go downstairs, I'll send it right to you. It's not a big deal. I've done it a million times before we automated. I don't know what that transaction hash. You know, usually transaction hash is you've actually done the transaction, and you can copy it off of, like, say, etherscan.io or Blockchain Explorer. And I don't know. I've never got through it, frankly. I'm being honest with you.
Okay.
But this light going out here, it's kind of like, you know, in Boston.
That's your time to go.
Ding, to ting, to ting.
Last call for alcohol.
Last call for alcohol.
Michael, hey, man, we enjoyed you coming in and explaining the valuation. I thought that was very important. And, you know, hey, salute and fist bump for coming in. And, you know,
it was fun.
And,
might have some big news coming from Electronium.
Really?
Say that again? Wait, say it again?
I might have some big news coming for Electronium.
Ooh.
I love
like
when my new employer
I like this guy.
That's what I was brought in to do.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't get any address to send my resume to you yet.
Oh.
Well, he's a little busy. He's a little busy.
I'm a little busy. But go to Pierre, and he's got my mobile phone. I got to get another one, guys. To be honest with you, pretty soon, you guys, I'm gonna. It's gotten so ridiculous. It got to the point where I'm like, here's my Verizon like mobile pager thing, because it would bring it to my attention, and it's like, you know, if I didn't have all notifications turned off of this damn thing, it would be like, you know, a jackrabbit on crack.
Yeah.
Like this, flying off the desk. It's like, what the hell is going on? So I'm actually going to go down. Yeah, I'm going to. No, it's good. But I have to go buy another phone, and I'll give you guys that number. And it's like the red phone, you know, nobody's going to have it. But you know, Pierre has my mobile and my information, and you know, just share it to him and send it to me, and there you go. You get your resume to me. It's not, sorry, I assumed you had it. You know, this one.
Bob, you're not getting it for a while, okay?
Hey, I can get my virtual assistant to spruce up my resume and update it for you.
Just put titanium on there.
You're not you're not getting that number for a while, Bob. At least a week, okay? Yeah. I got you for a week, but
message me on Facebook.
Yeah, I should probably like do, you know, pull a Kardashians out, like the girls down here in Calabasas, you know. And it's like, okay, to get the privilege of getting my phone.
Right. That's funny.
Man, I love joking around with you. But I know you got to go, but you got your visitors. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
and, man, you're welcome to come on anytime.
Yeah, if big news does happen for Electronium and we'd love to come out, I'll give you guys a ring.
We had over 10,000 views last night.
Oh yeah,
over 10,000 by the time
we set a record. We set a record with you on here too. We had like 450 people on, and our prior record was 177 at the 4 a.m. launch of Electronium.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
A lot of stuff is going on that's kind of stunning to me. You know, another guy showed up in Los Angeles. You know, I did say, I mean, if you're in Los Angeles and you want to stop by and see me, feel free. And there's been like 10 guys. And so, you know, I was just like tapping away on Telegram. It's like, okay, make transaction transpire. And I get this, you know, text message, and it's like, hey, Mike, I'm outside. I know, you know, you don't have to come out. you know, I just traveled here from, you know, I'm not going to say, but
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
How'd you guess? You know, it was Iowa. You know,
We're actually going to Iowa.
Yeah.
can you talk to, or Nebraska? And he's like, well, can you come out and talk to me? And I always do it. I said, well,
Nice.
you know, I'll come up and talk to you, but you have to give me your shirt size first so I can come out with a titanium T-shirt to give you and some other stuff, and I'll be out there in a couple of minutes.
What shirt size are you?
Oh God, I'm a small.
Okay.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight, you know, because of
Hey, Bob did too.
whatever it takes, you know, thing. There were times where I had to choose between making titanium successful and eating. There's been times, many times, that I'd have to make the decision to make titanium successful or get enough sleep. And I've always said that I'm going to make titanium successful because to me, short-term sacrifice has always led to long-term gains. And I'm doing that again.
That's a beautiful story. Like I've got a story similar to that because when I was released from prison, I had $15,000 and that's it. And in 4 years, I'm a multimillionaire.
I know. We're in the same club. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I've lost a person.
You've lost
I've
a
lost,
Was
I've
it
lost
an important one?
155 pounds.
Oh my
155
goodness, that's what you meant. I thought you were talking about like a relative or a close friend.
Yeah, Bob, that's not funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a person, right?
Yeah, my joke. I mean, because people, when they talk to me, they assume that I've always been, you know, up in it, and I did quite well for myself, you know, after my technology career. But my joke in the meetups, and I'll have to leave you with this, you know, I'm the comedian. I got to leave you with a joke, you know. My plan B, if this tech thing doesn't work out, if titanium and blockchain doesn't work out, I'm coming to you guys because I'm going to be on the strip doing comedy, stand-up comedy. That's plan B, right? And I say, yes, you're absolutely right. Mitt Romney and I have something in common. We've been 1%ers our entire life, except I started out on the bottom 1%.
Nice. I like that. I'm not a 1%er yet. Or am I a 1%er now?
You damn well are. 700,000 a year is 1%.
Whoa.
We're in that club too.
I'm in the bottom.
1%.
I'm in the bottom 99. Probably more like the 25% at the bottom.
Yeah. So now you're working right now. So now you're screwed. That statistics can be skewed.
I keep telling you, just send the ticket, and I'm in Los Angeles tomorrow.
He doesn't know where to send it yet.
That's actually true. I'm a natural problem solver, as you guys know, but without necessary data, there's some problems that I can't solve.
It's actually pretty easy. You just check my friends list. I rarely approve new people on my Facebook friends because I don't know if they're DEA agents or not, but I approved you because I'm pretty fucking sure that you're not a DEA agent.
No,
I was a cop and he approved me, so there you go.
You're a cop?
I was a cop.
Like
I've got the most respect for policemen, you know, in general. I don't admire the corruption, but when there was some idiot. I mean, luckily I was not in the same place at the same time with this moron, or I was able to deck this mother trucker, you know, because this guy said to me, I was using, you know how big I am behind, you know, supporting the military, right? He said I was using military. Now, in general, yes. Am I a big marketing and sales guy? I absolutely am. But I've been supporting the military since I was like 5. You know, I grew up in a military family, and this guy said I was using the military as a marketing scam.
Okay. Oh my goodness, man.
I was just like, you.
I wish I would have been there with you.
I would have unscrewed his head, you know, like the top of a Black Label Scotch bottle. Bam! You know, if I was where that guy was. You know, it made me so upset that guy said that.
At the time. Okay.
No, I said if I was.
Yeah.
No, if I was, I mean, then I'd be a felon. I'd be a convicted felon because I would have killed the mother trucker.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Well, you know, we could have just knocked him out.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't go into the military.
No, I didn't hit him.
Yeah, I tried to get into the military, but I had a marijuana possession, and they didn't accept me because of that.
I am shocked, Pierre. I am just literally shocked. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Seriously.
All right, Michael. Thank you very much.
Michael. Appreciate it.
Good night. Damn, what a great guy, man. And what a good interview, you know. And I think he explained his valuation very good. Like, I can see where
I'm on board.
Right?
I'm on board. Now I'm going to admit, when we first started talking about it, I was, I don't know. But after speaking to him and getting to know the person behind the company, it's made a lot more sense to me.
Right? Like, I can get behind a businessman, man. It's hard for me to do with developers, but with a businessman, I can get behind a businessman. Okay, and I can get behind Michael. Like, I see his vision and the thinking, the rationale, how he gets to his.
It's calculated.
Yeah, man. Like, he's a chess player. I know that. I'm gonna have fun playing chess with this guy.
And you know, I like the whole punch you in the mouth attitude. You know, I'm going to do this whether you're on board with me or not. So
whatever it takes, man. Whatever
it takes.
Fuck it takes. I've always had that attitude too, man. Whatever the fuck it takes.
And as an investor, to the people that are watching, that should be like, shit, I'm signing up right now, because that is what propels companies to the top, not
and
the.
I'm trying, man. I hope he doesn't fucking sell out before I can. And it's this little thing has a little star on the transaction hash, so hopefully he sends me his address and I can just.
Shit, I hope it doesn't sell out before you can go too, because you're using my referral link.
That's the other part of that, Bob. If he sends me his address, I can't put in a referral code. Like, this thing has the Google Docs document has the ability to put the referral code, your referral code. But if he sends me his address, you know, no referral code, bud. But that's okay. I think he's going to, you know, give you some bonuses anyway. Maybe. Who knows?
Well, a job, you know, that's the first step. The job.
Yeah. Let me grab a beer real quick.
All right. So, guys, I'll get back to the pool thing. We've been talking about it. Obviously, we have 72 people on right now. Really appreciate you guys. Love all of you for coming in. We've been able to have the CEO, Michael Stollaire, 2 nights in a row now. We are his chosen avenue for getting the word out. He has told us last night that when new news comes out, whether it's titanium or electronium, that we're going to be the first people that get to do the interview and broadcast it. So that should get you guys like morning wood all day long.
Fuck yeah.
And I mean, that excites me, you know, and I'm the guy that sits back here just listening aimlessly. You know, I even had to cut my host off so I could get my point out, which I know he appreciates.
I like that. Hell yeah, man. Cut me off.
So, you know, the thing is, guys, with the pool, you know, we started from scratch, guys. We had too many issues, too many problems. It was costing us, well, not us. I say us because we're a team, but Pierre, too much money as far as paying people to fix it and server issues and all of that. So
just the Amazon though, Bob, the fact that they want to hit me with $84,000 is just a fucking nightmare, man. They're going to try and, you know, it's all your fault and blah, blah. No, fuck you, motherfuckers.
So in case you're wondering, guys, with the pool address is actually changed from etn.ucrypto.com to just ucrypto.com. So when you're setting it up, if you have Stratum plus TCP, it's you're just going to take the etn dot out of it and restart it up. You should be good to go. The website is still not showing any numbers on it. So I do have a message into the guy that programmed it, and it is syncing with the blockchain. Maybe somebody that's on, I know Chris Doobie had a percentage of how far done it is syncing. Once it syncs, it should be fully functional. Auto payouts, everything should be lovely. It's a brand new pool setup. We just totally shit canned the old one because, to be honest with you, we could no longer have faith that it was doing what it was supposed to do and that it hadn't been tampered with. So, you know, honestly, in you guys' best interest and ours, that we made that change and we did it promptly. So, anyway, that's that. So, what you got, Pierre?
Nothing, man. You've pretty much spun me around with that announcement. My head's spinning on that one.
So, guys, it's been amazing 2 nights, man. We've had CEOs from different nights. Michael Stollaire, right? So we had the CEO there. We had
Kyler.
We had Kyler, yep, from Neuro. Is it Neuro? For some reason, Neuron. Neureal. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Kyler. So it's been really great. The show is evolving. We're getting with more people in blockchain, with CEOs.
Kyler, hold on. Kyler, no worries, bud. Come back on the show. If you think you skipped something or you want to explain something, come back on the show, bud. Like, we got plenty of fucking time.
All right. Well, let me see. We've got an hour, right?
We've got an hour, yeah. I do want to cover the market, man, because somebody asked too, what's happening with the market? Electronium is going down. I'm a scared little girl. Fuck that, man. Who cares about if it's going down or not? It's going to go down. People are pulling money out, and they're going to put money back in. Just be cool. Be relaxed. Don't fucking look at it all the goddamn time, because what if you sell? Like right now, everything is in red, and really a good time to buy, if you ask me. Like,
Neo in red?
Neo is not in red, but it is the only one in the top. And actually, if you take the only other one is gas at 45.
Am I the only one? I mean, you and I probably look at it the same. I mean, I look at my Blockfolio, I'm like, holy shit, look how much money's in there. And I don't really look at, oh my God, it's down. I just look at what it is currently. Does that make sense? Am I like the asshole that just doesn't get it? Or, I mean, I look at it and I'm like,
but it's like, it doesn't matter where it's at. Like, I'm a winner all the way around. It can't go down. It would have to fucking implode for it to, for me to lose money. It really would. My goodness, man. Ethos at $6.21, negative 16% right now, guys. Like, Ethos is a no-brainer. But, dude, in the top 60, the only ones right now that are in green are gas and Neo. Like, I mean, and then Neo is right now at $171, and it was up to $192. So in that space of time, I've lost like $200,000, and it doesn't mean shit to me. Like, I'm cool with that. Huh?
Digital 200,000. I mean, but where are you at? I mean, you're still up, like huge, right?
Yeah.
So I don't look at what I've lost. I've looked at shit. I still got 73 grand in my account,
73 grand. Like when I saw it at 92, and I was thinking, man, if it can get over 200, like this thing could go to 220, 230. And you know what? It might be there in a week or two. Like something is, and you know what? In a week or two, you're going to have the Neo San Francisco developers meeting. And so that alone right there is going to probably push it up over 200. I would, safely assume if we can get back to, if we're back at 190 something, and then you've got this blockchain developers thing going on in San Francisco, there's a reasonable chance that it'll go over $200 easy, to the 210, 220 area. Like, Neo, man, every $10 is like $100,000 for me. So, like, Neo, and the reason why I say if it doubles, so I was thinking, Bob, like, if it doubles, bud, instead of sending me my money back, why don't you just hold on to it? Like, put a little Neos away. You've already got your 35, and you're guaranteed there. I've gotten my money back, but you hold it for me just in case I get hacked or some bullshit like that, That way I know
I
I've got a little safety reserve with you.
I haven't touched anything. I'm scared to.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
hard, isn't it? And you know what's
well,
funny, Bob?
but the bad thing is I'm going to have to because I got to pay my light bill, rent, car payments and shit. So
I know.
it's like, ugh.
That's how I feel, dude, when I've got to cash out to pay bills, or anything. It's like, oh, I got to take some money out when I know whatever I take out is just, it's going to fucking double, quadruple, 10x, 100x, and I'm taking that out of the equation. It hurts.
I know and that's my thing now. I didn't think about it before, right? Because I had the Electronium. I'm like, it's just going to sit there and grow. And then you gave me the Neos, and the Neo is doing so well. I'm like, shit. If I sell any of it, now I only have 300 Neos and not 350 Neos. So the gas is not being,
The gas isn't even being made. And then, look, Bob, look, where's the gas at? Right now it's at $80, but I saw it at like $90. And I was thinking about that. I was like, holy shit, all my holdings make 3 gas a day. And so at like $90, so let's round it off at $100. That's almost $300 a day that my Neo holdings make. Man, that alone right there, I could live off of that.
It's insane when you got to make decisions on, oh my God, I've got money. I need to pull it out, but I don't want to pull my money out. I want to keep it in there so it keeps growing, I couldn't say that about my 401k. I'm like, give me that shit right now. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to contact them tomorrow and see how soon I can get that pulled out. Because when you leave a company that you're in their 401k plan,
it takes a while.
The company has to report to them that you're no longer employed there, and then you can pull it out. So that's what I'm working on now. So
yeah, I'm glad that makes sense to you. And you know what? I got a phone call today from lawyer Chris, kind of a like an oh shit, what the fuck do I do kind of phone call. And he's like, hey man, I need some advice. And I was just waiting. He like woke me up with this fucking phone call, right? And I was like, what? Or yeah, what? He's like, well, those Neos that you gave me, I sold them all. And I was like, ugh, really?
now he's wanting to buy them back?
And now he wants some advice. I fucking hung up on him. Like, I don't want to see Chris for at least a week. Like, and then when I looked at that at 190, when it was at 192, now it's like, oh, now I know why Chris is so sick to his stomach. And you know what, Bob, when I had him on the show, did I ask him if he was going to ride with me or dump? Because I asked some of my hosts or my guests, and I don't remember if I asked him or not. And I might go through the show because I think he said he was going to ride with me. And he dumped them all. And then he says, I still have the 10 Neos you gave me. I'm like, 10 Neos, huh? You fucking sold them at 100 or something. He sold them right away. It's like, what? Oh.
No, didn't he say he bought something else with them or something?
He did that, but he did buy something else, and hopefully that something else gives him 100x. Because
but
this
to me,
1x in what, 15?
Dude. Yesterday was 1 week, and it was 102 when you gave me mine. And
so
now it's
almost
190
a 1x in 1 week.
Right.
I mean, how do you sell all of your position?
I was up over 80 grand in my blockfolio today.
Wow.
And it pulled back a little bit, but I was like, yeah, okay, I'm down. I like this. So I don't, you don't.
Man, your daughter fucked up, huh? Because she could have gotten some Neos at 141, right?
Yep. And
Yeah.
she came to me with an attitude. Now she got,
Is she fired?
well, she's on suspension. So
Too bad, little girl. You're gonna have to learn how to play. You can't come at
you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah, exactly. With an attitude? Give me a break. Think I want you on the show with an attitude?
So, that's the balance between being a parent,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, and teaching a lesson. So now
Yeah.
tomorrow, when that shit is up again, I can say, you remember when I was going to give you this and you had the attitude? You would have made this much money this week.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that will show her right there too. Like if she's thinking about taking some and just dumping it, just give
Go
me the
buy
money.
me a new Mini Cooper or something.
Yeah, when really you should just fucking leave it where it's at. Take what you need and, just try to let it grow, because that's what I've done. And I've done very successfully. And I wonder, man, because I'm in the Neo group too. And let me go to the Neo group and see why the fuck Neo jumped up like that today, man. I don't understand what.
Well, somebody said it was tied with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's down, but Neo's up. So how can it actually be tied in like that? That's inquiring minds want to know.
Right.
Whipple. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. So,
more bullish news welcomes Koreans' friends to Neo. Up bit trade volume and market. Let's see.
I got 0.7 gas right now.
Wow. Nice, Bob.
So what's that, like 2.5 gas a month or something, probably?
Okay, so that's still a couple of $100.
Yeah, but if I pull out Neo, then I don't get that, at least not as much. And if I pull out Electronium, I guarantee if I pull out Electronium, that bitch is going to the moon like the next day.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't sell all my positions. Oh, look, kind of came back on.
Who did?
Kyler.
Oh, okay.
So,
Me.
hold on just a second.
I got to run to the restroom. So.
Okay.
So,
Bob, a little break here. Ah.
Oh man, I remember doing big long shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ed and Ethan show was a 4-hour block too. So
The Ed Neeson.
yeah, I was trying to tell you about that. That was when I got back into crypto in 2011. Well, not I got back into it in 2011, but in 2012 I started working for the Ed and Ethan show. They were the first terrestrial radio show about cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And they were also the first international show about cryptocurrency.
Nice.
And they stopped in 2015.
How come?
Well, the hosts both decided to kind of do different things. One host, kind of the guy who occupies the Bob side of what you're doing, he decided he wanted to become a full-time dad and just focus on trading crypto and mining. And then the other host currently lives in the Bahamas. And
he's the holder, huh?
Well, no, they both are. They both have been holders. They just got sick of doing the show every day. After they started in 2011, so
I can understand, because it takes a lot of work, man. It really does.
4 hours of talking every single day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Takes a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, I completely got lost because I do this sometimes. We start talking about the AI side and its applications, and I am traditionally a salesman. I think I taught you guys that, and so I missed all of my really good points you should be aware of, and I'm going to wait for Bob to get back for them. But all the stuff that you guys ended up talking to Michael about, like market effect and stuff, when you were talking to Michael about our project, is all stuff I was meaning to cover and you asked me about, but then we got sidetracked.
And the nice thing is that we can get you back.
I love it. No, I love this kind of open format. I dig this so much.
It's enjoyable, man. It doesn't make it seem like it's work. You
know what? And I bet most of the people are there watching stream or are watching market cap and various other tools while they're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always nice to have some accompaniment to that, I think.
Yeah, and you see, like we had one guy. What's happening with the price of electronium?
Yeah.
You know, like he's coming for some support here. You know, you don't
Like
get,
you're doing market analysis or something.
yeah. But I mean, some general support from the community, right? Like, what's wrong with you sellers? You know, why are you selling right now? You just heard that there's going to be some news coming out for electronium soon.
Yeah, very soon.
Very soon is what he said, right?
Speaking of which, I think I'm in trouble because he added me to his Facebook and LinkedIn yesterday, but then I heard how busy he was, and I realized that those are probably just completely useless avenues to try and contact him. And when he said he was interested in contacting us, I was like, oh, shoot, I should probably figure out how to do that.
Don't worry, he's going to be on more often.
Hey, Michael, hey, Bob, I have a question for you before we get going again. What did you do in the Navy?
What did I go in to do, or what did I end up doing?
I told you my story, man. That's the same thing. That is everyone's story.
Well, I went in the Navy's electronics technician program. Go figure, right? Computer nerd. No, I was in. I went to boot camp in Orlando back in the late '80s, so I'm going to date myself a little bit. And then I didn't graduate electronics school. I got a 69 on a test, and then I got a 69 on a retest. And immediately you go from one of the brightest minds in the military to doing shit detail. And
we got to talk after this. We have a very similar story.
So I left there, and I ended up in supply. You guys are going to laugh, and I know. I had the most chill job in the Navy ever. I ended up being the shipboard barber for 4 years. I cut hair in the Navy for 4 years.
Not only is that chill, but like that is
barber.
It's the easiest thing ever to exchange for favors. Everybody wants to be your friend.
Oh, I made more side money with people coming in the middle of the night talking about, hey, I got an inspection tomorrow. Yeah, I was getting drunk. Can you cut my hair? Yeah. So, okay, no worries. $20, you know.
Oh, man.
So I would get them in.
Built in. Almost like the cooks.
Well, the best thing about my job was I only had one chair. I had pin-up pictures all over the wall of swimsuit models, right? I had the radio blasting all the time. The first inspection that I had, the XO came through, and I was like brand new right on the ship. And I'm like, okay, let me take all this stuff down. And he got mad at me, came in, he says, where the hell are my pictures? Well, I thought it was an inspection. You know, I painted everything, waxed the floor. I mean, it looked like prime. And he says, this is the only place on the ship you can come for like relaxation. Get my goddamn pictures back up on the wall. Yes, sir. And, you know, so I was, I guess in the Army, it would be considered a quartermaster. So the division I was in of supply was, you know, the ship store, the ship's laundry, the vending machines, obviously the barbershop. Yep. So, you know, you have jobs, but outside of that, I mean, I was on the helicopter crash crew. So I was on the firefighting team there. I was in the dewatering team and damage control stations and stuff like that. So, you know, you always got multiple jobs. Yeah. So cut hair, the thing I like, I could just close the door. We're going through the Panama Canal. I was chilling out up top, you know, and stuff like that. So
not to mention
pretty chill job.
Infinite Wisdom spent $1 million training you to do electronics first.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I don't like about the military is that you can get one of the highest. I had a 98 at the time on the QT, which, you know, 100 is maxed out. So I got a 98. I passed the nuclear power engineering exam with the Navy. So I could have been a nuke. And I'm like, I was lazy, 18-year-old. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just step it down, maybe something a little bit easier. But then they don't tell you when you're going to the recruiter that, oh, yeah, by the way, you're going to go to boot camp. You're going to get up at the ass crack of dawn. And when you're done with that, the very next week, you're going to walk to the other side of the base and you're going to be a night student and you're going to get up at 4 in the afternoon and stay up all night long. And it, you know, So yeah, I had some issues with that, but I sucked it up and played through the pain,
Good stuff, man.
made the best of it. So
I feel sorry for you barbers. We used to have the barbers prison, and god damn, man, these guys would cut hair for like an hour. A haircut was an hour long, and most of the guys just shaved on the side or very closely, and then a flat top on the top. It was standard issue in prison. And how the fuck I remember watching, having to wait in line, and I was like, really? And the guys would be like, a little bit more over here, a little bit more over there, and I was like, what the fuck? And when I look, man,
he had to look good for his prison bitch.
Yeah, if this takes more than 10 fucking minutes, I'm fucking out of here, I am, I don't give a fuck. Just make it look like so the fucking female guards still like me, but,
like a sheep shear. Just
yeah, come on, come on, man.
That's hilarious. So,
and then even since then, since prison, I don't even like men touching my hair, dude. Like, why? When I can have a pretty fucking blonde to touch my hair. Fuck that. No more fucking men touching my hair
and the boobs on the side of your head.
Yeah, and then if I'm gonna get a tattoo, give me a pretty blonde to tattoo me.
Dude, you got one tattoo. You're not even a true drug lord with one tattoo.
I'm thinking about getting another one, bud.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? Yeah. So if there are any graphic designers listening, send me your picture of the little logo for ant shares. Okay, remember the little ant guy with his outer space helmet? Now
he should be standing on a stack of coins.
It's just his face, though. They didn't do his body, but on the helmet, it should have a little American flag patch. It should have something with Dr. Reefer. Let's see what else. Something maybe a
hot boxing inside of his little space helmet.
Yeah. That would be a good one there too.
Hell, when you go in the Navy, it's like you graduate. Here's your tattoo.
Yeah, no, we used to call it our boot camp stamp.
Yeah,
camp stamp.
Then they came out with the fact they had a regulation that you couldn't have more than 6 tattoos, and they couldn't be visible.
Yeah, the Marines got really tight, man. Our PT uniforms are tiny, and what I mean tiny, I mean you start questioning who designed it.
Yeah,
tiny, right? So anyways, and it's not nothing visible in PT uniform. So that was really crazy.
Yeah, because they look a little funny at you guys that are Navy SEALs and whatnot, and you got a bunch of skulls all over you.
The big deal is
it could be a problem.
The big deal for us is that the Marines are tasked with guarding every U.S. embassy in the world. And so that's a really super highly visible job.
Yeah. And certain tattoos, could piss off some people.
Yeah. You never know how it's going to be culturally interpreted.
Well, you could always tell the Navy SEALs on the pier. You didn't even have to, they all had the khaki diver shorts, right, for the Navy. And you could tell a regular.
Good night to Tom. Let's say good night to Tom.
Good night, Tom. Good night, Tom. Thanks for coming in. So, you could tell the difference between just a regular UDT or a hull tech that was down there doing some work on the ship to the guys who went to Buds, because their legs were friggin' insanely huge. Just massive compared to a normal diver or any other sailor. You're like, yeah, you could just look on the pier and be like, he's a SEAL. He's a SEAL. That dude failed out of SEAL training. And probably the guy too,
They'd be half jacked.
Yeah, just insane. So,
hey, I wanted to get back into some of the stuff about Neureal that that I forgot, because we ended up getting more into the neural network side and less into or not neural network, but more into the predictive algorithm side and less into the business side of it. So,
great.
just like he's talking about with titanium, Michael was talking about that the utility of titanium, one of the things that gives it the most value is that it is the sole currency that can be used within the network in order to get services from the network. The exact same thing is true of Neureal. In order to get predictions from the Neureal network, you pay for those predictions in the Neureal tokens. That's what I was talking about, is with us not being concerned specifically with Lyft and the like Lyft and other potential partners that we're looking at in the future. Anybody that really wants to approach the business to business side, the powered by Neureal, and then plug into Neureal, we're not worried about that taking up bandwidth, because the way that they're executed is they offer up a specific amount of reward beforehand, right? And so if Lyft wants more priority put towards their things, all they do is just slightly jack up their coins per thing, and then the people who are trying to pursue more value with their prediction algorithms are going to follow that. And then the only people who are going to be left doing
I can understand that.
Who donate their time, just like there's currently people who donate their time to cancer research to do the folding at home applications.
Okay, I can understand that and follow that. My concern was more like it's taken, I guess they're all still just doing the platform and they're all going to play on the platform. I thought the weather service, hurricane people, take specific developers off the project just to that area.
No, not at all. Once again, this would be similar to like attracting miners.
Okay.
This would be similar to, but not exactly the same as.
Lyft is a miner community?
No. Lyft is like a project that is proposed, right? And they offer a specific amount of reward. And then people will sign on, people that think that their algorithm specifically is tooled to do better for Lyft, will sign on to Lyft's thing in order to earn their rewards. And they'll probably pay for outside data in order to feed their algorithms as well, so that they'll be a step above their competitors who are just using the baseline data. Does that make sense?
Like a bounty.
It does.
Like bounty program?
It seems like
that is literally, yes. I mean, remember what I said about the competition that Netflix launched, and that we just want to take the ability to do that to everyone?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what Facebook or Netflix.
No. It was Netflix, and I was telling you about a 2009 competition that they launched in order to find the very best predictive algorithm.
Okay, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know what the competition was or anything.
Oh, so very specifically, they launched a $1 million prize competition that they marketed all over the place to a bunch of different, specifically schools that train data scientists and different companies that have data scientists.
Okay.
And that we're going to give you $1 million prize, and we want you to predict what the future user star rating is going to be on this particular film based on all of this data that is available before production. Okay. You can see how that might be useful to a company, right? that makes movies. So
yeah, because after they finish it, then it costs
the one that was the
$100
very
million to advertise it. So so after it's made, right? Like
the movies, yeah, you got to make sure that it's the very most valuable proposition beforehand, right? So you want to feed that all into an algorithm that's going to have a better chance of telling you, rather than just some studio executive who's aging and getting more and more out of touch with what's relevant.
I've done so many movies, and I can guarantee.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with this, a company like Netflix, instead of organizing their own competition and having a staff put together to go out and pump these to different schools that train data scientists and all of these different places to try and gain contestants so that they can gain a better algorithm, and instead of just running that competition once, Neureal would give a company like Netflix the ability to set up their competition on our network using Neureal. They buy tokens, and then they...
So the setup, don't you have to have a consulting team consult with the Lyft team?
Again, this is, if Lyft has data scientists that understand the type of predictions that they want, they can set it up themselves. Like, they can just interact with the blockchain by purchasing Neureal tokens. They can set up their own oracles, like we call them.
But worst case scenario.
Like I said, we are setting up a business. Like I said, when after testing and all of the aforementioned things, okay, once all that's finished, it's splitting. There's a nonprofit that is managing the coin, just the coin, just like the Bitcoin Foundation, okay? And then there's a business to business powered by Neureal well, not business to business. There's a purely profit business that is being established that's going to be Neureal, and that is going to be where we plug in and advertise to different companies in order to set up their predictions on our network for them without them having to know all the data sciencey stuff. And that includes
and that's what I'm talking about. Like when you split it up like that, and some of the guys are going to the weather services, you're taking resources from the money.
No, but that's the thing. Like those are specialized services, right? And there's going to be people, like I said, right now there's actually a project out there called KierCoin, which is monetizing a project that's been around for a really long time that Stanford put out called Folding at Home. And what Folding at Home does is it uses GPUs, just like mining software does, in order to do 1,000 different permutations of the way that these proteins can fold and mutate and the way that those affect different diseases. And it's something that GPUs are better at than just about anything else on the planet. Now, normally, these researching projects, they have like year-long backloads for the supercomputers at the colleges that they use. They just do not have enough computing power. But what Folding at Home did is before, I think it was 2006 that Folding at Home did this, but I might be wrong. So it might have even been pre-blockchain. They have a network that just allows you, it sends you out small pieces of that workload, and you do it on your home computer, okay? People have been donating their electricity and computing power for
I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back.
For free, just to try and help cure cancer. You see what I'm saying? So there are people who are going to get on the network and they're just going to research those humanitarian projects and they're just going to donate their time to that. And we don't feel like that's going to detract from the amount of people who are there to make a profit, and so they're going to pursue Lyft because Lyft is, or any of the other companies who decide to sign up. But I'm just using them as one example because we brought them up. Lyft or Netflix or any of these companies, all they have to do is increase their incentivization, and then more of the network will want to go predict for them because they'll find a bigger profit margin there.
So basically what you're saying with the first company is more like a P2P sharing, you know, like you're getting little bits of information and everybody's contributing it to make the whatever file you're transferring. So it's not all coming from one place, and it essentially is faster, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a part of it. I can link you to a really interesting article that'll break down better than I can how good blockchain is for AI, because and Will does a really good job of breaking this down too if you want to talk to him next time. But blockchain actually solves a lot of problems that collaborative AI had in the first place, and in my opinion, running AI on top of blockchain solves the big problem of, hey, why are we wasting the same amount of energy every day as Bulgaria? And it's just running hashes.
Right. Just calculating away in the background.
Yeah, and so I feel like that those two, like they work really synergistically together. And there's, like I said, I'm not an AI, like I'm interested in AI, but I don't program AI. So if you want to understand more about that, you need to talk to Will. But he has pointed out to me, and I've got a great article that references all of the many ways in which blockchain solves really specific problems that collaborative AI problems have had in the past. And does it really well, very specifically. And that's one of the main reasons that we're on the blockchain, is that like it allows us to be able to collaborate in a way that we weren't able to do before.
Dude, I'd love to have him on the show. Anybody?
Yeah, no,
tell me
I've
about
got both
AI?
of them signed up.
Fuck yeah. All right, so we've established that.
Yeah, so here's the other thing I wanted to really go into. So remember that one of the things that's going to give Neureal its value is the fact that all of these huge industries that are going to want all these many uses of predictive AI, they are going to need to purchase those tokens in order to run on our network, which has a very good chance of being the most accurate, right? I mean, like somebody could come along and they could develop a proprietary algorithm and not want to compete on our network, and they could beat us. But the chances of that happening aren't really great. It's the same reason that people do open source. So with that being said, some very interesting numbers that I've been looking at. Bank of America predicts that AI is going to drive 14 to $33 trillion in annual economic impact by 2025. Okay.
If not more.
So Gartner says,
we all know AI is the future.
Yep. And then Gartner says that very specifically, just the business analytics side of AI is going to reach 22.8 billion by 2020. Okay. And revenue from AI is projected, like just revenue from AI itself is projected to reach 36.8 billion by 2025, and that's according to Mobile Business Insights.
Okay, here's the thing, though. Okay, with that, and why I think it's actually disadvantageous, right? I even brought this up with Michael. I said, man, okay, right now, because the token is $1 and you're giving out these contracts and it's cheaper than Amazon and this and that. But what happened? Because it's deflationary, so, coins get burned and whatnot. And, when people see the value and everything, what happens when you're more expensive than Amazon and, your competition? Because the coin of your price went up so high. And his response was like, then fuck it, man. Let's just go and on a beach house somewhere and retire.
Well,
How do you handle that?
Question. That's an interesting question, but let me put it this way. Let me just make an analogy. If right now you could use Bitcoin in order to do predictions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are now willing to mine more for less amounts of Bitcoin, right? Because the Bitcoin is worth more overall. The same is true of these same prediction markets. Like if Neureal, the token, becomes worth a crap ton of money, then it'll just take less Neureal in order to entice people to mine, or in order to run predictive algorithms on your problem.
Okay, so you could make it still, even though it's the only currency that you guys accept, instead of it being one coin, it shoots up 10x, and now you just lower it to 1/8 of a coin.
Yeah, because remember, that's a discussion, and that is an open kind of market, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me.
Between them. And so as the price adjusts, the price of how much it'll cost to run the work on the network will adjust.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me, okay? Not just let's fucking retire and go fucking party it up, I mean, hopefully that's an option for all of us, but if not,
that's
what's
one of
the solution?
Beautiful things. That's one of the beautiful things about me, about specifically any digital currency, is that the way that we do them, they're infinitely divisible.
What do you think about electronium that is only divisible to units?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look into it, but it all depends on the way that they definitely have a way to moderate that, right? So that you're not gonna have a situation where you're only able to transact in units of $10,000, right? Just theoretically.
Well, that's why they only did it in 2 decimals, is so that it matches the dollars. That was the whole.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is they're tying it. That's what I'm saying. Is they're tying it to a dollar value. So they're modulating that another way. Is what I'm saying. The way that Bitcoin modulates that is that it's infinitely divisible. If we get to the point where one Satoshi is worth $1,000, then literally they will adjust the code so that you can just send. There's more decimals.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that you could just adjust the decimals. What happens when all of Bitcoin is mined?
That's well, I mean, what happens for who? Because the miners will continue to receive all of the transactions that happen on the network, and presumably once all that's happened, it will have reached its maximum value, and therefore just the little transaction fees that are happening on the network will be enough to entice people to keep mining it.
Okay, that I didn't know. The gentleman that I had basically retained to help me with my ICO launch advised me not to make my own blockchain at this time, because he said in the next 6 months to 12 months, a new technology is coming out that uses.
Not going to happen. Hashgraph.
Is it Hashgraph? Basically mining with space?
It's patented. You can't use it.
It's patented and I can't use it. It's not open source.
And they are not creating blockchains about it. They're not launching an ICO. They are not launching a coin of any type. They are specifically looking to partner with banks to make their transactions, to make little internal Hashgraph systems that banks can use to make internal transfers right now. So if it's Hashgraph you're talking about, I've done some deep research into that.
I don't know if it's Hashgraph or not. I just they were saying blockchain and space. And basically, you could take this home computer here that's, a slacker right now, right? I just got this really to check emails and whatnot, not to play any video games or this and that. So I just bought a basic computer, and he's telling me that this basic computer could be process the same thing as a rig.
I don't know. I mean, that would be very interesting. One of the very interesting things about Neureal is that right now it's running on top of the Neureal. It's running on top of the Ethereum network. Okay, and then it's a peer chain fork.
The Ethereum network is a peer chain fork?
No. I mean, specifically, right now we are on the Ethereum network, and then we are forking from Peercoin when our plan right now is to fork from Peercoin when we start our own coin.
Okay. He advised me to go off of Stollaire.
Well, that's one of the really interesting things is that if there's a new technology that comes out, like specifically one of the really interesting things that we're looking at is that you see how Bitcoin's blockchain is really slowed down right now because of all the transactions that are happening on it. Or a good example would be Ethereum and CryptoKitties, right? So when you're talking about all the transactions that are going to be happening in a prediction network and all that data flying back and forth, that is going to exponentially increase those amount of transactions. And one of the ways that we have figured out to fix that is that when an oracle presents a question and a reward and they set up their entire thing on the network, that initiates a side chain. It's a brand new chain that only the people who are involved in that prediction are a part of. And that chain happens until they finish their entire prediction. And then once the entire chain is done, they encrypt the results of that entire chain so that they're easily referenceable. And then that gets added back onto the main chain, and the side chain collapses and goes away.
Whoa. Okay, interesting. So what he was telling me that this new technology tackles is the wastefulness of Bitcoin mining. I mean, let's face it,
that's not something we're really worried about then, because specifically we're doing the same thing. Like instead of mining, they are running predictive AI algorithms. And so they wouldn't be wasting it. That would literally be they'd be doing the same things that that Amazon or specifically mostly Alphabet right now is doing on their giant data servers.
That is really fucking interesting to me. Let's talk about that, because what you're saying now is that they're not solving this stupid mathematical equation to bust the nut.
Yes.
We are solving
whatever your problem is. You propose the problem. Remember what I was saying earlier about individuals knowing how to spend their money best, and that I feel like if you put these algorithms in the hands of individuals, they will figure out better ways for them specifically to profit from that. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I feel like it would be better for everyone to have access to these predictive algorithms and the ability to interact with them rather than just a couple of companies, because individuals will find way better, more creative uses than any couple of board members are ever going to figure out.
Maybe, but I bet you the first ones to use it will be businesses. And so
of course,
the best thing to do is to go to businesses, and then hopefully it spreads to people. But
no, and again,
you're
it's
still
open
going
to
to have
everybody.
those cat video people, so
No, and it's open to everybody.
Those guys.
As long as they can afford to outbid people like Netflix for the predictive power, sure.
Good luck with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this mining.
Kind of.
And
predictors is what they're called.
Bob,
we don't call them miners, we call them predictors.
Bob, one of the things that Michael did say was that Bitcoin wasn't really blockchain. And I meant to follow that up, man. And so if we have him on the show again.
Yeah. No. That's I could actually kind of elaborate on, I think, what he was talking about, because it's something we talk about over on our side all the time.
Okay.
Bitcoin isn't the totality of blockchain. And that's what people seem to think.
Yeah.
Blockchain is a technology. Like, look, blockchain, and I was trying to explain this to you guys earlier, like blockchain is way more than just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a proof of.
I understand that, but the Bitcoin blockchain is just Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's just for Bitcoin. But
yeah.
But Bitcoin was the first thing to use a blockchain. Okay, and so it was kind of a proof of oh gosh, what do you call it?
Proof of
concept for blockchain itself. And so moving forward, people are going to do more and more and more with that technology. It's exactly like what happened when DARPANET was released, and that was the very first version of the internet, okay? And then it went from DARPANET to, it was just a couple of universities that were able to talk, and it was like Salt Lake City and I think Irvine, California, or something like that. And then eventually that whole network grew into what we now know as the internet, okay? Or emails, right? It's a new protocol. It's a new way of organizing things. So.
And DARPA was from the military, right? Because the military created.
Yeah. The Defense Application Research Program. Yeah.
Okay, that was DARPA.
DARPA invented the internet, or at least DARPA invented the protocol that the internet is based on. And
that's kind of the same
thing. Yeah, that's an interesting kettle of fish there.
Yeah, it is. Let me get another beer and we'll continue.
So if you want,
okay.
So this back and forth, and how there was just two places that could communicate on the internet, and now you think that we've got all of these computers. Basically, if you think about it, they almost create their own blockchain, right?
Yeah, kind of. Well, okay. So let me explain blockchain the most simple way I've ever heard it. It's like the stupid, most easy way to understand it. There was a Pacific Island chain. They had to develop their own form of currency. They didn't have any metals or anything else you and I would use. Okay. What they did have is large rock outcroppings, and those are the only things that were really rare. And so what they figured out is that they could carve like big, beautiful statues and mandalas into these big outcroppings, and then develop a ledger system in the middle of the town where like a trusted person, the elder, whoever in the middle of the town would keep the ledger. Okay, but the problem there is that as the society expands, you can't trust people in order to maintain the ledger, and the double spending problem, right? Where I could run to the other side of the island before the ledger gets updated and try and spend that same share of the statue twice.
Right. Well, yeah. So I'm just saying that as the internet, you know, basically you've got data on all these computers, nodes everywhere, right? So it's decentralized, the internet. So just like blockchain, you know, obviously use the internet, but each one of these computers, like Pierre's computer, my computer, your computer, we all can send information back and forth to each other, and we can share files. I can send one to him and he can download it on his computer, yet I still have it on my computer, right? A double spend, so to speak. But but the fact of the matter is that now we both can share that same information with you. We could both send you the same file, and you know, it's not shared in one specific place like the blockchain. So
and it's unverifiable that it's the same everywhere. And that is the really big revolutionary part of blockchain, is that with blockchain, you can verify not 100%, but as close as we can get right now.
And let me ask you about that. Kyler, let me ask you about that, because the example I was just going to say to Bob is like, imagine, Bob, you know, Microsoft releases their Windows and it goes through this blockchain and it's verifiable, right? And you know that people haven't hacked and added something to it on top of that. Okay, that's where the blockchain would really, you know, you could verify, because holy fuck, dude.
Because right now you need
there's people selling fucking Windows everywhere, and you know, who knows if you got a, you know,
the only way to verify
Trojan or, you know.
Yeah, the only way to verify it is really technical. You can go in and you can actually, there is a way to verify it, but you'd have to have
programmers
to know about it.
Fucking education, yeah. The backdoor of CDOS, whatever fucking line item that, you know, oh my fuck, yeah, I don't even want, give me the fucking bootleg one, you know, fuck. But that is, and I guess the trick is for them to be able to, so they release it with the blockchain, and I guess now it's just finding a way for the customers to buy it, right? And
well, it's that and figuring out all the different areas that it applies to, right? And when you guys already know this, right? But I've seen so many new people in the crypto space over the last 2 weeks that it's kind of scary. It's almost how I felt in 2009 again. But
that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Specifically, what I was trying to tell
that when you were back in 2009.
Yeah, like I thought I tried to tell you, 2009, my roommate in the Marine Corps, I was in a technical school, so it's like the top 98th percentile of the entire intelligent people in the Marine Corps. They jam them all into the same school because it's got a
Okay.
huge attrition rate. He came to me and he was like, "Dude, so I know you have the Alienware mining laptop, or you have the Alienware gaming laptop, right? Let me tell you about this really cool internet money." Right, and he didn't know how to pitch it because he's an egghead, but he goes through it and he goes, so basically your laptop could earn you money while we're at school, man. And I was like, oh, well, what could I buy with that money? And he goes, I think some guy bought a sword on World of Warcraft. Deuces.
You told us about that.
So, yeah,
Where were we going with that though?
I can't remember. You brought it up, so I thought that you couldn't. I thought that you didn't remember what I said.
I remembered that part. What was the main point though?
Specifically, I was talking about new people getting into the crypto space.
So what I was going to ask you was, so how much was Bitcoin at that point? And then did you hold on? And then did you think about where it was going to go? And did you think that thought was crazy? Because like now that where Bitcoin is $100,000 crazy? Is that the same kind of thought craziness where when you got in at 2009?
I saw two things. I looked at other internet monies at the time, and if I don't know, it was an eCash or something, where the guy went to federal prison for 30 years, and that was he was just being sentenced at the time. Like he had just been sentenced a few years before that, and so when I went and looked it up, I essentially looked at what other people had tried to do to make digital currency, and I looked up that every single one of them had got indicted, their programs got trashed, and that was it. Like the government arrested them, gone. And so I saw that as the most likely path of Bitcoin, and I thought that Satoshi Nakamoto's attempt to keep himself.
That's why he stayed anonymous.
Yes. That's one of his biggest reasons, or at least that's what's been proposed. But Satoshi Nakamoto specifically, I didn't think that his attempt to stay anonymous was going to be successful, and I thought that he would be caught as a money launderer. And so
not only that, but I mean, come on, man, with all the agencies.
Oh, there went Pierre. Yeah, he usually about this time in the show, he goes out and there he comes back. There we go.
So, it's a sign of a modem.
So, like, I totally agree with you there because I can't believe that nobody still doesn't know. And it's not just the computer trail or the digital trail that was left. It's also like to keep a secret like that.
Can I tell you one of my saddest things? Like as a writer, I've started thinking about like what things could have happened, right? You know what feels most likely?
Huh.
You know how many people die in a car crash every day?
Yeah.
Do you know what would happen if Satoshi Nakamoto essentially shortly after the time that he was done, before it became valuable, but before you know what I mean? Like after he was done doing the main part of the programming and other people had started taking over, what if he got in a car crash?
Yeah. Okay, so what happens? All his Bitcoins are locked up.
Forever, yeah.
Forever.
And there would literally be no way to get them off there unless somebody recovered his effects and somehow recovered the private keys.
How many does he own?
I don't know. It's not actually one of the bigger. It is large, but if I remember correctly, there's much bigger ones on the wallet. Oh yeah.
I know that.
Like the Pineapple Fund. Do you guys know about the Pineapple Fund?
But I know that supposedly there are 1,000 whales that can sink the price.
Right. Well, if you guys don't know about the Pineapple Fund, you should, because it is a guy who made multiple very large wallets in the early days of crypto, like probably around the same time I'm talking about, mostly by mining. And he put up 86 million of it for charity this year, right around Christmas time. It's just a fund that any charities can submit to. And he essentially said, I've made a lot on crypto. I've made more on crypto than I could ever spend in multiple lifetimes. So let me see how much good I can do with this particular wallet full, which was 86 million. And then he moved it from one wallet to another to prove he had control of it. And then he started taking applications. It's really cool. You can just go Google Pineapple Fund. One of the first donations they made was MAPS. They gave $1 million to MAPS, the place that's studying the medicinal effects of stuff like mushrooms and LSD.
Okay. I'm a member of MAPS, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm all for the legalization of every drug.
I'm with you, brother.
Right on, man. Another libertarian.
Well, see, I started libertarian, then I became an anarcho-capitalist. It's like minarchist, like I want as little government as I can, and then anarchist, meaning I don't believe that a government can ever contain itself, and so you just cut out the middleman entirely.
You know what, man? I think eventually we're going to a one world government.
I think I agree with you, but in a different way.
Thing. I think it's the easiest fucking thing. Just tax us all the same fucking bullshit and let us move wherever the fuck we want. I mean, come on. And we all fucking pledge allegiance to humanity, you know, and don't hurt each other.
See, but it would be whoever on top of it that'd want us to pledge allegiance to them, and then...
Well, we fucking vote for these fuckers.
Well, we vote for them now, but that doesn't mean that it's actually who we want on top that ends up on top.
Well, fucking ruled by majority, bud. If you can get the majority on your side, guess what? Most of the time, it is proven that you aren't a nut job. You know,
or unless you lock the entire process of getting into politics down into one of two parties, which you have to entirely conform to their entire constraints in order to be one of two of them, and that essentially props up a two-party system where people have literally flipped from Republican to Democrat from one election cycle to the other because that's just how the game is played, and they're just jerseys.
Well, you're gonna get those fake people, but then it's still on you if you fucking vote for that stupid motherfucker.
But that's like essentially what you're saying is, in order to be an informed citizen, you have to spend your entire life doing nothing but researching and making sure that not only is the information you're getting correct, but that it's not spun and covered in one particular way by a person who's covering it just because that's the way they want to do it.
Man,
and
if you can't
that's not something you can talk a mechanic into.
Come on, if you can't tell the difference between Fox and CNN and know which way they spin it, like we both, I don't know who you support or not, but let's say Trump
I support you. You for president.
Trump comes out with some bullshit, right? We know fucking MSNBC is going to fucking really tell it like it is and maybe even hype it a little bit more to the negative side, where Fox is going to fucking downplay it and maybe even justify everything. Like, man, I listen to this fucking conservative radio here in Vegas, and the way that they fucking manipulate the media.
Yeah, it's teams and it's click. It's teams and it's click, man. It's click rates. You said it yourself earlier. It's you get paid per click, right? And so you can either incentivize a bot network.
No. This is different, man. What I'm talking about here, like, I'm talking about how they twist the ideas to justify their memes. Like, and for example, man, I was listening to this Wayne. I even forget what the fuck his name is. Okay, but he's on the morning here in Vegas. And they were talking about Trump's statement that what Africa countries were shitholes, right? And one of the callers came in, and you could tell this guy was a Democrat, and just wanted to set the fucking record straight with some reasoning, because the host was justifying the president, Trump's remarks that they're just shitholes, and so he came back on and said, like, it's insulting that the leader of the free world would blanket, a whole nations as shitholes when these people, there's a lot of people that are scientists, doctors that are here in our country, employed like that. So to blanket the whole, everyone as the leader of the free world is just, it's insulting, frankly. And, he said something else besides insulting, like demeaning, ignorant. What you get the idea, right?
Oh yeah.
The host, though, however, said, well, I'm going to have to agree to disagree, because at the very end, tell me that his logic wasn't there because the terrorists all come from there, or some bullshit like that. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you are...
No, I'm with you on that, but they'll switch sides on who justifies very quickly, depending on who is in trouble. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you then. So then you are for Trump, who eliminated the
I didn't
mandatory Well, then, but you're in agreement or complicit, as they say, with Trump reversing the healthcare requirement tax fine.
Yeah. No, personally, I am.
I'm with that too, man. Thank you, Trump.
I'm all for individual. Like, and here's my thing. It's just like I said earlier. I believe individuals know best how to spend their own money, and that's it. And I explained that earlier about the 4 ways people can spend money, and that's really it. That's the end of that argument for me. Is how are you going to get the best amount for the entire economy by allowing everybody to figure out what the best way to spend their own money is? Because overall, that makes it means that the bad decisions that are made aren't accurate.
Skyler, okay, because I could point to a couple of things. Okay, so first thing, it was Obama, the Democrat, that passed this healthcare bill, and the Democrats. And if we didn't buy health insurance, we're going to get fined. Okay.
All right. Yeah, but that's
in
bullshit,
Canada.
dude.
Yeah, it is. But it is for the betterment of society, dude. When you imagine a little girl on cancer, dude. Imagine a girl.
Bullshit, dude. It's bullshit, dude. I'm gonna tell you why.
It is
you
not.
Want to know why? No, dude. Y'all been rambling back and forth. Let me jump in.
Let me finish.
Yeah, I agree. Let Bob in.
Hold on. Okay, but dude, my dad is a Canadian citizen, and they get free health care for everybody, and
we do in America as well.
For one organ.
I'll back
that up. Because in the States, I have never, even when I was unemployed, if I was sick and went to the hospital, I never was refused treatment based on my income or anything. I was always taken care of, right?
Standard emergency care, though, Bob. But what if you're a little girl who needs a heart transplant, a liver transplant? Those are operations that have to be scheduled and whatnot. And if you don't have the money for that, goodbye. Sorry.
Right. So listen to this now. All right. So I understand that, but Obamacare costs more than my insurance was through my company. My own company I was working to pay for, Obamacare was more for the unemployed people, which automatically put them in the position that they couldn't afford it and couldn't get it. So therefore, they paid a tax penalty. So all that was a scheme to generate more tax for the government without putting a tax on it. It had jack shit to do with healthcare. They didn't give a fuck if anybody got.
Bob.
Dude, they don't give a shit.
The money from the fine went to pay
for what?
All the people that
the money from the taxes also goes to pay for veterans care, and look how well that works out for us.
Right. I mean, that's my thing. I'm a veteran. I have the same issue. You go to the hospital. I serve my time. I got supposedly free health care. They charge me a deductible at the VA. I have to wait 6 months to get scheduled. It's government-ran healthcare. It doesn't work. It's not effective. And then we asked, we're going to put Obamacare. We're going to make everybody get shitty healthcare coverage through a government-run program.
Those pills they gave me that almost killed me, those were...
Let me bring Bob back in.
Not to say that,
guys. I think we only have a few minutes. Okay.
Oh shoot.
We have like 7 minutes.
Okay, so I mean, this is.
You want to continue this because I like this conversation.
Well, I mean, it's not a. This isn't a politics show, so I mean, it is what it is. But we all have our opinions on it. Yeah, I think that there should be health care provided. I mean, if you want to know my opinion, and this probably piss a bunch of people off. So my opinion is, if the government wants to give health care to us, then give it to us. We send billions and billions and trillions of dollars to all these other countries for nothing in return with our tax dollars. If they internalize that, they could reduce the tax debt and deficit in the budget. They could give people free health care and just give the doctors the salary. So why make us have to pay for something that we already pay for?
So first, the doctors and the salary is the thing, because I've hired a bunch of doctors and we all discussed Obamacare, and a lot of the doctors were for Trump because they can only charge or bill the government a certain amount or if they bill them in excess of that amount, they come back and say, no, this standard operating procedure only pays this amount. And usually it's like 10 or 20 or 30% of what they charge, what they get reimbursed from like insurance companies or people who pay in cash.
And the reason that is because our society has become so sue happy that they would rather drop a lawsuit on somebody, which raises the doctor's insurance liability. The schooling that they have to pay for is insane. I'm $116,000 in student debt right now. So, I understand. I get that.
Damn, Bob.
If you've got to pay all that shit, you should be able to get a premium for your services, right? So what if the government helps?
That's what the doctors came back. Exactly. Like, why should they be limiting my income when I went to school for all this time, went into
absolutely
who knows hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt?
And I agree that. Don't control it. If you want to help something, reduce their costs by taking the fucking tax dollars that they're sending to, hey, we're going to send $700 billion to Iran to give them for whatever reason for nothing and get nothing in return, when they could use that to offset those insurance policies
definitely.
And I'm with you in a way. I'm actually really into getting rid of the money that we give to those governments directly, because 90% of it just goes into those governments' military spending programs and their anti-drug enforcement programs, and specifically turning to the type of direct giving sort of things that a lot of these smaller
Say goodnight. Say goodnight, guys. You want to take this? You want to take?
Yeah, we're gonna get cut off.
Bye, Felicia.